Chapter 1. I wish all the readers of this book to have a good appetite, good health, everything goes well, be happy every day, be immortal, be loved by a young and beautiful rich woman, be pursued by a handsome CEO with 8-pack abs, and find true love, heart. When reading novels, the most important thing is to have fun, and use your brain. Readers, please note that this book is about food. Fighting is secondary. The main focus is on capturing food, the secondary focus is on Dragon Ball, and then traveling to other worlds to share food. Oh my god, my head hurts. Li Ziming woke up holding his head, and when he opened his eyes he saw a ceiling full of technology. He stood up and looked at everything around him. Li Ziming was very confused. You are a jungler, what are you doing to me? Not to mention this high-tech house, everything around him made him feel like he was not on Blue Planet anymore. The next second, a strange feeling emerged from his waist. He slowly looked down and found that he had a tail around his waist. Looking at this thick tail, he inexplicably felt a sense of familiarity. After combining the surrounding environment and the combat uniform hanging on the side, he discovered something. He, Li Ziming, traveled through time. I actually traveled to the world of Dragon Ball and became a Saiyan, the kind of Saiyan who likes fighting, the kind of Saiyan who likes to find rich women, the kind of Saiyan who is a super glutton, the kind of Saiyan whose hair can turn golden when transformed, the kind of Saiyan who can turn into a gorilla on a full moon night, and the kind of Saiyan whose fighting power can be greatly improved after recovering from near-death. Li Ziming sat cross-legged on the bed, a little dazed, and then slowly accepted the fact that he had traveled through time. But how did he travel through time? He recalled every little detail before the time travel. He went out to buy fried chicken last night and stopped at a convenience store to buy a bottle of Fat Otako Happy Water. On his way home, the light turned green and he walked onto the sidewalk. A speeding dump truck rushed towards him and he got his lunchbox. He got up with his remaining consciousness, deleted his browsing history, formatted his phone, and then fell asleep peacefully. He thought he would be in the hospital, but he actually traveled through time and became a Saiyan. He didn't know what era it was now, whether he was on planet Shadera or planet Vegeta, in the Z time and space, or the GT time and space. He didn't know whether the protagonists Kakarot and Broly were born. Now his mind was blank. Li Ziming slowly accepted his own time travel, stood up and walked to the mirror beside him, looking at his appearance in the mirror. Apart from anything else, this body looks very handsome, with casual clothes, a height of 1.75 meters, black hair and black eyes. Although he doesn't look very muscular, he still has some muscle lines. He is one of the most handsome Saiyans. As expected, there can't be any ugly Saiyans, except for a certain bald Jiang, of course. Li Ziming nodded in satisfaction, but at the same time, there was one thing that made him very confused, that is, he had traveled through time, but he did not have any memory of this body. With doubt in his heart, he said the two words that a traveler must say into the air. System. The system is starting up. Please wait. The Heavens Dimension Crossing System is at your service. Hearing the voice in his head, Li Ziming suddenly became excited. It was worthy of being the standard equipment for time travelers. Time travel really cannot be done without a system, just like eating instant noodles without braised eggs and sausages, and eating fried chicken without cola and beer. Li Ziming suppressed his excitement and asked curiously, Master System, can you briefly introduce yourself? As the name suggests, this system can take you through time and space, from a small ant who is not good at fighting, to combining the power of various worlds and slowly growing into the new master of the multiverse. Hearing this, Li Ziming was very excited. Yes, he had traveled through time and space and became a Saiyan, so naturally he had to be the strongest man. He could knock out Super Saiyan Broly with one punch and Super Saiyan 5 Gogeta with one kick, and with the power of a breath, he could blow the god of destruction Beerus to the end of the universe. Just thinking about it made Li Ziming happy. Okay, great system, how can I travel to other worlds? I can't wait to improve myself. Li Ziming said excitedly. For every 10,000 points, you can travel to other worlds once. If you meet certain conditions, you can travel to other worlds for free. Ah, then how do I get these points? There are many ways to obtain points, including but not limited to the following. First, you can earn points by completing the main tasks and time-limited tasks assigned by the system. Second, you can get points by achieving certain achievements. The achievements and rewards are 10 points for ordinary, 100 points for silver, 1,000 points for gold, and 10,000 points for platinum. Third, you can get points by killing or defeating the enemy. The calculation method is different in each world. Newcomer Gift Pack X1 detected, do you want to open it? Upon hearing that there was a gift package for newcomers, Li Ziming could not hide his excitement. This was good news for time travelers, and he couldn't wait to open it and see what was inside. Master System, open the new member gift pack. Congratulations on getting a chance to travel through time. Looking at what was opened, Li Ziming couldn't help but have 3 numbers popping up in his head. That's it, only one chance to travel through time. Yes, Master. Logically speaking, traveling through time and space as a Saiyan is also part of the novice gift package. I am giving you an advance. Okay, it's not that I cannot accept it. Master System, are there any other features, such as exploration, property panel, storage space, etc.? Li Ziming said cautiously. Yes, the system comes with basic exploration skills, personal panel, and backpack. Host, Li Ziming, Takai, gender, male age, 20 years old bloodline, lower Saiyan bloodline plus combat power, 500 plus points, 0 number of times you can cross, 1 skills, air dance, Qigong wave, giant ape transformation backpack, 10mx 10mx 10m none flying skills, can control the energy in the body to fly, not restricted by gravity. Qigong wave, accumulates energy in the body and emits powerful shock waves. Giant ape transformation, receive the bolt's light emitted by the moon, and the body will transform into a giant ape form, and the combat power will increase 10 times the normal level, but the lower level warriors will lose their minds, and only the upper level warriors and elite warriors can maintain their sanity. Seeing the data on the attribute panel, Li Ziming was a little confused. He felt something was wrong. Could it be that the original owner was not good at fighting? In his understanding, the combat power of an adult Saiyan could reach 1,000 or 2,000, unless they were like Bardock's wife, who stayed in logistics and were not good at fighting. Speaking of this, he also noticed the alias behind his name, Tachi, which was probably the name of the original owner. It looked somewhat familiar to him, as if Saiyans are basically the homonyms of vegetables. For example, Kakarote means carrot in Japanese English, Vegeta means vegetable, Broly means cauliflower, Bardock means burdock, and Jin means onion, so the meaning of his name seems to be coriander. It's not that he couldn't accept it. He also ate coriander anyway, so it's not wrong to have a name like coriander. But what made him curious was why he had no memory of this name, or of the original owner. Li Ziming was also curious and asked the system, why do I not have any memory of the original owner after I traveled through time? I am afraid that your memory will be confused, so I have sealed the original body's memory. If you accept it now, I can let you go through it all now. Okay, come quickly, let me see what the current situation is like. Li Ziming said to the system impatiently. Then bear with it for a while, this memory is huge. The next second, a huge amount of memories instantly flooded into Li Ziming's mind. He now understood why he was asked to bear it for a while. It turned out that receiving the memories was so painful. It took Li Ziming a long time to adapt. He slowly looked at the memories in his mind, and the corners of his mouth twitched involuntarily. He was really a logistics staff. Takeki, a low-level soldier and orphan, was the only one left on planet Vegeta after his parents disappeared in a battle. He was assigned to logistics and became the assistant of Bardock's wife Jin. He watched them fall in love and have children, and witnessed the births of Kakarote and Broly. Unexpectedly, 2 days ago, when I was on a mission with the combat group to conquer a planet, I was mentally shocked by an alien who exploded before his death. Although the enemy was killed in time by Bardock and had no superficial injuries on his body, his spirit was severely damaged. After being summoned back by King Vegeta, he had just arrived home to rest when his mental trauma began to worsen and he eventually died. After reading the memory, Li Ziming felt helpless, but he also felt it was reasonable. After all, the Saiyan's spirits were very weak, especially those low-level warriors, who basically could not control the giant ape transformation. Only the high-level warriors and elite warriors could control it. Although he has become a Saiyan and has a new name, Li Ziming is not planning to change it. After all, these days, except for Vegeta, who still uses Saiyan names. When he returns to the Dragon Ball world and is accepted by other Saiyans, he will be called Takeki. Other than that, he will just call himself by his real name, Li Ziming. However, after receiving the information, Li Ziming felt that he was doomed. After all, everyone knew that at this moment, Frieza would destroy planet Vegeta and kill all Saiyans. Although it was Frieza who took action, the mastermind behind the scenes was the god of destruction Beerus. If King Vegeta had made a delicious meal for him, he would not have destroyed planet Vegeta so easily. It can only be said that it was fate. Suddenly, a golden light shone in from outside the window. Ziming walked out and saw a huge energy ball appeared in the sky above planet Vegeta. A figure rushed to the front of the energy ball and tried to fight back with shock waves, but failed to resist. Looking at this huge ball of energy, Ziming was filled with panic. Could it be that he was going to be killed by Frieza just after crossing over? Do you want to use one shuttle opportunity to go to a new plane? Yes, let's go, Master System. Ziming looked at the system prompt and immediately grabbed the life-saving straw, choosing to consume it directly. With his current strength, he could not resist this huge energy ball at all, and he was not a match for Frieza who had a combat power of over 100 million. The best thing to do was to leave first. As the system took Ziming through, a huge energy ball fell on planet Vegeta. At this point, there were only a few Saiyans left. A white light flashed, and Ziming came to a new dimension. When he opened his eyes, he was completely stunned. It was not because of anything else, but there was a tree in front of him, a big tree made of bones and flesh. The air was filled with charming fragrance. There were some white mushrooms around it, which looked like marshmallows, and there was a field of spaghetti-like plants next to it. At this moment, Ziming suddenly felt two air columns coming from behind, carrying the smell of roasted whole pig mixed with spices, which made him instantly hungry. Successfully arrived at a new dimension, a captive of delicious food. Achievement achieved, first time traveling. Achievement reward, 10 points. Based on the nearby scene, the main task is now released to capture sweet fruits. Task reward, 100 points. Chapter 2. Smelling the charming aroma of barbecue, Ziming looked back and saw a huge roasted whole pig in front of him. The meat on its back was sizzling and oozing with oil. The smell was so intoxicating that it directly awakened his Saiyan foodie gene. System Master, Identification. Roasted whole pig, Mammalian Capture Level 1. Seeing the familiar message appear, Ziming was excited and happy. He didn't expect that he would come to the world of food captives. This world has countless delicacies, but also countless powerful foods and enemies. It is especially suitable for his current growth. It's stable. It's all stable. The place he has traveled to now must be the Hangar Ryla Island at the beginning of the anime. I don't know whether the protagonist Toriko is here, or whether the Pirate King Luffy has interrupted. Regardless of that, looking at the roasted whole pig in front of him, Ziming now has only one thought in his mind: eat it. The most primitive appetite surged in his heart, and Ziming rushed to the roasted whole pig in one step, punched the pig's head hard, and knocked it to the ground easily. Kill the roasted whole pig, points +1. Looking at the system prompts, it is obvious that in this world, killing enemies is based on the capture level. Capture level 1 can get 1 point. When you become stronger in the future, you can go to the food world and you will definitely get countless points. Looking at the roasted whole pig that was easily defeated by himself, although the capture level was only 1, according to the combat power division of this world, it would take about 10 professional hunters to work together to successfully capture it. To capture level 2, 20 people are needed, and so on. But when the capture level reaches 5, it is no longer possible to win by crowd tactics. Instead, it requires tanks built by ego at great expense, which of course may not be useful. After all, beasts above this level have strength, speed, physique, and perhaps even special abilities. It is difficult to defeat them with ordinary people's means. Only professional gourmet hunters who have been injected with or awakened gourmet cells can do it. But in this world, the number of gourmet hunters is not too many, but they are barely protecting the whole world. Ziming felt that the combat power of a captured level 1 being was between 10 and 100, or even less. Besides, he was not an ordinary person, but a Saiyan with super combat power. Although his original body was not good at fighting, it did not mean that he could not fight. Walking to the roasted whole pig, he used his knife to cut off a large piece of cooked roasted meat from the back of the roasted whole pig. The fragrance of vanilla mixed with the slight scent of truffle and the aroma of the roasted whole pig smelled very tempting. Ziming couldn't wait to eat, but before that, he decided to follow the local customs and learn the main character Toriko's prayer before meals. Maybe it would improve his eating luck. Then he put his hands together and said, "Thanks for all the food in the world, I'm going to eat." After saying that, he immediately bit into the big piece of grilled meat. In an instant, the sweet and delicious taste of fat filled his entire mouth, coupled with the appetite-stimulating aroma of vanilla and truffle, he could not stop eating it. Although it was grilled meat, the meat was very juicy, worthy of being the freshest roast suckling pig. Then Li Ziming immediately took the second and third bites, and soon, the entire piece of grilled meat was gone into his stomach. After finishing the meal, Li Ziming felt an unprecedented satisfaction. This was what it meant to eat meat with big mouthfuls. Combined with the original owner's memories, the Scions ate all kinds of monsters and demons. No wonder he angered the god of destruction Beerus. It was not unfair at all. While eating the roasted whole pig, he looked around. How could he just eat meat? He had to pair it with the marshmallow mushrooms and spaghetti grass not far away, and even vegetarian meat like the bone meat tree. He could mix meat and vegetables and adjust the taste to his liking. Bone and flesh tree, plant capture level 1 or below marshmallow mushroom, mushroom capture level 1 or below spaghetti grass, plant type capture level 1 or below. I have to say, the best thing about the world of food is that some foods are delicious without cooking. Place the marshmallow mushrooms on the grilled pork chops, and the residual heat will melt them instantly, blending perfectly with the fat of the roasted pig. The taste is unusually sweet and delicious. Eating the chewy spaghetti with a sloppy mouth, Li Ziming had only 3 words in his mind: beautiful. After eating the tender and delicious roasted whole pig, I had a piece of meat loin just picked from the tree. It was obviously grown on the tree, but it had a faint meaty aroma, different from the taste of vanilla. The meat loin from the meat loin tree had more of a unique plant aroma. In 2 words, it can be described as fresh. I took a bite of the bone and it tasted like meat, but it had a refreshing feel. If I took it outside, I guess no one would think it was vegetarian meat. This is what it means to be like meat but not meat. When paired with the surrounding ingredients, the flavors are layered, which not only enriches the taste of the meat on the bone, but also brings a different feeling to the roasted whole pig. The layered combination of 2 kinds of meat in one meal adds a fresh feeling to the original 3 flavors of the roasted whole pig. Suddenly, an idea came into his mind. If he brought these delicacies back with him when he returned to the Dragon Ball world, maybe he could directly bribe the god of destruction Beerus and the angel Whis. By then, he would not be afraid that they would not teach him the apprentice god of destruction or the freedom kung fu. But now, I can only think about it. After all, according to the original timeline, it will take another 30 to 40 years for Beerus to wake up. By that time, I might already be invincible. And this is just a roasted whole pig of level 1. How delicious will it be if you capture the god of the whole world in the later stage? Thinking of this, Li Ziming couldn't stop drooling and could only eat these foods to satisfy his craving. Li Ziming no longer thought about it. Eating these delicacies was the most important thing now. Every time he took a bite of the food in front of him, it not only satisfied his appetite, but also made him feel that some changes seemed to have taken place in his body. He felt that his body had become a little stronger, and even his combat power had increased. Li Ziming thought about it and thought that it was probably because the Scion's S cells had increased. After all, this was the basis of the Scion bloodline. With more S cells, the combat power would be stronger, and it would be easier to transform into a Super Saiyan later. It seems that the S cells in his body are slowly increasing, and his body and combat power are being strengthened. This is obviously because of eating the roasted whole pig. They like the gourmet cells in its body very much, and they are worthy of being the foundation of this world. That's right, the reason why all the animals and plants in this world have become so delicious is because they have slowly transformed into this state during billions of years of evolution. If Li Ziming remembered correctly, it was the Netero clan, who were the incarnation of gourmet cells, who dropped gourmet cells onto the ancient Earth, or Gourmet Zone 0, in the form of meteorites a billion years ago. This is why the gourmet planet now has a size 600 times larger than before, and where new and exotic foods appear all the time. Later, the food god Acacia discovered the existence of food cells and injected them into the human body, resulting in a new evolution. This is how food hunters appeared. Not only did their strength become extremely powerful, but there would also be food demons parasitic in the host's body. Some descendants of gourmet hunters are born with gourmet cells and are parasitized by gourmet demons. They are the 4 heavenly kings. Of course, in today's gourmet age, some people eat all kinds of delicacies, and when they come across particularly suitable ingredients, there is a chance that their gourmet cells will awaken, but the chance is too low. While eating the roasted whole pig, Li Ziming was thinking, since he had Scion S cells in his body, would gourmet cells and gourmet devils appear? Or would the S cells combined with the gourmet cells fuse into new cells? This was still unknown. Never mind. You'll understand it as you eat. Besides, you have your own system, so you can just solve problems when you encounter them. Before long, the nearly 2 to 3 ton roasted whole pig, along with a surrounding bone and flesh tree, as well as countless marshmallow mushrooms and spaghetti grass, were all eaten by Li Ziming. Satisfied, he lay on the ground to rest for a while, and by the way, checked the system store to see if there was anything he could exchange. Who would have thought that this site would open the door to a new world for him? Not only were there bloodlines and skills from various worlds, he also saw the Sharingan and the 6 paths sage, devil fruits and the 6 styles of the navy, the Kaioken and the law of destruction, and even androids that could be exchanged. But as you can imagine, the price is beyond his reach. The cheap ones cost tens of thousands, and the expensive ones require tens or even hundreds of billions of points each. Now he only has 11 points, which can only be exchanged for the most common food and water for one day, which are the most useless things in this world. Becoming a Saiyan was already the best starting point, but he was curious and asked the system whether his Saiyan bloodline could be upgraded to become a top-level warrior or a Super Saiyan. Of course you can upgrade. The concentration of S cells in the Saiyan bloodline is determined by your bloodline. You can practice by yourself or purchase upgrades. Please see the following panel for details. Lower Saiyan bloodline, Upper Saiyan bloodline, required points, 10,000. Superior Saiyan bloodline, Elite Saiyan bloodline, required points, 1 million. Saiyan Elite bloodline, Legendary Saiyan bloodline, required points 100 million. Legendary Saiyan bloodline, required points, ... Li Ziming was very excited to see that his Saiyan bloodline could really be upgraded. Although the points required were a lot, the combat power gained was terrifying. Broly's combat power alone was 10,000 when he was just born. It was conceivable how terrifying he would be when he grew up. He can also practice on his own. In this world, he can become stronger by eating delicious food. Not only can he gain a large number of points, but he can also increase the concentration of S cells, laying a sufficient foundation for his later transformation into a Super Saiyan and improving his bloodline. I guess by the time he eats God, he might already have several million combat powers, and the S cells in his body may be able to support him to transform into Super 1 or Super 2. Who knows? By then, he can make the food world his main world, and take the food here to travel in and out of various dimensions. He doesn't believe that anyone can resist such delicious food. If that doesn't work, then he can only use his fists to speak. Thinking of the delicious food that he would encounter in the future, Li Ziming's stomach growled, and his originally bloated belly instantly became much flatter. Those who understand the Saiyan digestive system will understand that this world is simply tailor-made for Saiyans. He jumped up and stretched his body briefly. Then he was ready to continue exploring the island. After all, he had just arrived in this world and had started eating a lot. His exploration level was less than 1%. No day is worse than today. Look, I am going to eat the whole world. Chapter 3. After collecting the bones and meat from the surrounding bone and meat trees, as well as some pasta and marshmallow mushrooms and putting them into the system space as food reserves, Li Ziming was ready to officially explore this gourmet island, Hanger Ryla Island. After activating the air dance technique, he flew directly into the air and looked at the surrounding environment. Although the island looks small, it is actually very large and there are several areas. There is Coca-Cola on the mountain, trumpet lions and unicorn bears at the foot of the mountain, and the place where he is located is not even in the inner area. There are only some roasted whole pigs and so on. He wanted to explore the island to see if there was anything else delicious. Just as he was about to go down and look for it slowly, he saw 3 unicorn bears besieging the roasted whole pigs. They didn't seem to find any trace of Li Ziming. Unicorn bear, mammalian capture level 2. Li Ziming briefly recalled the description of this bear in the original book. According to Toriko, the meat of this bear is very hard and has a strong fishy smell. It is impossible to eat it at all. The valuable part is the horn on the head. Not only is it very hard, but it can also easily pierce steel plates. It is a rare material and it feels like it can be made into a kitchen knife. You don't have to eat the bear meat, but you can consider taking one of the bear horns and asking a knife maker to make it into a kitchen knife. This way you can cook some dishes yourself. While making the ingredients more delicious, you don't have to eat ready-made food all day. After landing, the unicorn bears also completed their hunt and captured level 2. Facing the level 1 roasted whole pig, they could easily kill it with one palm. With one bear and one palm, 3 roasted whole pigs were left. Seeing this, the other pigs could only flee. The bears were hunting pigs, and Ziming was following behind. When the roasted whole pig stopped moving, he rushed into the unicorn bears in an instant. He knocked them to the ground with 3 punches and made them lose consciousness, but he did not kill them. After all, in this world, wasting food might deduct your food luck. In this era of gourmet food, the better your food luck, the greater your chance of encountering those precious ingredients. Defeat 3 unicorn bears and get 6 points. After putting the pigs into the system space, the originally empty space was instantly filled with these roasted whole pigs. He had no choice but to take out a roasted whole pig and put it on the ground, so that he could hold more ingredients. As for the roasted whole pig, Ziming naturally couldn't miss it. He started eating it directly without wasting any food. Have you ever seen a Saiyan waste food? After eating several large pieces of grilled meat steaks, the 3 unicorn bears woke up. When they saw the culprit who knocked them out, they immediately started yelling fiercely. What? Do you want me to punch you again and make you faint? Ziming slowly stood up and looked at them while eating the roasted whole pig. From the unicorn bear's perspective, behind Ziming, it felt like there was a huge red-eyed gorilla eating meat and staring at him, scaring them so much that they couldn't move at all. Looking at the unicorn bear who had calmed down so quietly, he also smiled. It was the first time for him to see a bear at such a close distance. The last time he saw a bear so close was when he watched Big Bear and Little Bear on TV. Looking carefully at the bears sitting there, Ziming took out a roasted whole pig from the space and placed it in front of the 3 bears. Eat it, you are the ones who caught it. Ziming said to the bears. The 3 unicorn bears looked at the roasted whole pig in front of them, drooling uncontrollably, and began to eat the roasted whole pig willingly. Seeing that Ziming was very satisfied, they joined in and devoured the roasted whole pig. Soon, the ground was empty. The 2 huge roasted whole pigs went into the stomachs of the 3 bears. After eating, Ziming walked in front of the 3 bears and stroked them gently. It must be said that the feel was average, but it was not bad to use them as temporary mounts. I'll give you a name, and you'll just follow me for now. If I eat, you'll eat, too. Do you understand? OX3 looking at the giant gorilla with a faint look behind Ziming, Xiong felt bitter in his heart, but he could only bury it in his heart. Ziming looked at the 3 bears who had become more obedient and gave them names. Since you are big, you will be called Big Bear. Since you are smaller, you will be called Second Bear. As for you, I will call you Wang Gang. Achievement obtained, the gourmet version of Boonie Bears. Achievement reward, 10 points. Seeing that he could still achieve success in this way, Ziming suddenly had countless ideas in his mind, and he waited and saw if he could achieve it in the future. Without waiting for the 3 bears to react, he jumped directly onto the big bear's back and pointed at the bear mountains in the distance, telling them to go in that direction. That was the territory of Coco Koala. They should go there to see if there was a new adult leader, Das Cuisine Koala. If there is, it means that the sweet fruit may be ripe. If not, you may need to wait for a while. After all, in the era of gourmet food, when God is about to mature, the growth rate of all plants will accelerate, and it is possible that it will mature in a few months. Soon, the 3 bears spread out in a T-shape and walked towards the top of the nearby mountain. However, before they had taken 2 steps, Ziming discovered that there were many new ingredients around him. Not only were there the vanilla and monster truffles used in the roast whole pig recipe, but there were also some fruit trees with some strange shaped orange-like things on them. Herb, plant, capture level 1 or below monster truffle, mushroom capture level 1 or below amazing orange, fruit, capture level 1 or below. Ziming looked at the 3 kinds of food not far away. He had to say that being able to encounter them showed that his food luck was good. Although the capture levels were all below level 1, it just showed that his food luck had improved. Vanilla is okay, it is just the shape of ordinary vanilla, but the monster truffle and amazing orange are uglier in appearance than the other. No wonder one is called monster truffle, it is pitch black and looks like a monster, and the same is true for amazing orange. There are more than a dozen fruits hanging on the tree. Not only does the skin have weird appearance, it looks like a pieced together Eggman with eyes and many small particles that look like teeth. But it's a blessing to be able to come across them. These can not only be eaten, but also used as seasonings and backup ingredients. The air dance technique was activated, and under the stunned gaze of the 3 bears, Ziming took off directly, found some around easily, put them in his backpack, and ate an amazing orange in his hand, then returned to Big Bear. This amazing orange is really something and tastes pretty good. The person who named it was obviously scared by its appearance, which is why it got the name Amazing Orange. Li Ziming sat on Big Bear and walked towards the Bear Mountain, eating oranges and humming songs, occasionally taking out fruits to feed Second Bear and Wang Gang, living a leisurely and comfortable life. But this kind of time did not last long. As soon as they reached an open place, a strong wind blew over. There was a cry in the sky, and the Iron Eagle, the Hankrila bird, the sky ruler of Hankrila Island, made a brilliant appearance. Hankrila bird and beast capture level 3. Li Ziming was deeply impressed by this bird. Its appearance also made countless people witness the strength of the gourmet hunter Toriko. He used the knife and fork combination skills to easily take down this ruler of the sky. The iron-like feathers on his body, like armor, were like a piece of A4 paper in front of Toriko's two-handed knife and fork, and they were easily torn apart with a single poke. It is estimated that Toriko's strength at that time was about 40 or 50 in capture level. It would be easy for her to deal with a little Karami of capture level 3. After all, in his impression, when Toriko brought Komatsu here, Delang had already been born. Although Terry's size was not big, it also showed that he came after Gemmeat. Maybe it was an adventure before helping Terry find Beebcorn. Looking at the Hankrila bird flying fast in the sky, Li Ziming was ready to take action to see if he could easily take down this flying beast and then taste the flavor of the roasted bird. According to the description in the original book, the meat of the Hankrila bird has a very chewy texture. It not only has the exquisite pork belly full of gravy like high-grade Wagyu beef, but also has the fat appearance like the belly of tuna. One bite gives you the three tastes of land, sea and air, heaven against earth, sea against sky, continent against sky, flat, 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 flat. Before Li Ziming could make a move, the three bears roared at the Hankrila bird in the sky, but what greeted them was the strong wind from the steel wings. It was worthy of being a capture level 3 creature. The wind from the wings could actually blow away a unicorn bear weighing more than 10 tons. It was very effective against the three bears, but not against Li Ziming, because Saiyans can basically fly. He dodged the strong wind with a flash, and then moved at high speed to the top of Hankrila bird. He punched hard and hit the Iron Eagle's head directly, knocking it out of the air. Then, he condensed the energy in his body into his hands, and then used a skill he had never used before, the Kikong wave. The next second, a light golden energy shot through the sky and rushed towards the Hankri bird on the ground, successfully hitting it with excellent effect, and directly finishing off the opponent. Kill the Hankrila bird, points +3. Li Ziming's battle stunned the onlookers, Xiong Dai, Xiong Er, and Wang Gang. They had never seen such a cool fight. This was the legendary human being. How could he be so strong and powerful, and most importantly, he could fly? After the battle, Li Ziming was very happy looking at the Hank Ripper lying on its side in the round pit. Not only did he have meat to eat, but he also got points. Next, he would try what this roasted bird, which combined the delicacies of land, sea and air, would taste like. When he first watched anime, he was so greedy that he had to eat several bowls of rice every day to offset the desire for delicious food. Looking at the three unicorn bears standing there in a daze, Li Ziming was furious. These three had no sense of propriety at all. What are you still standing there for? Come over here and move the spoils. Guys, it's time to have a party. Chapter 4. Li Ziming brought the three bears and carried the Hankrila bird to an open space nearby. He asked them to put down the prey, and he began to clean up the Hankrila bird. Soon, he had cleaned up the Hankrila bird completely. The internal organs were fed to the three bears, and the pile of steel-like feathers were stored in the system warehouse. The feathers were particularly sharp and seemed to be useful in the future. As for the bird's body, Li Ziming cut a large wooden skewer and placed it in place. Next it was time to cook. Due to limited conditions, Li Ziming didn't know how to cook such good meat. However, he still thought of a universal way, which was the universal beggar's chicken. For now, this is the best way to make it. After all, Saiyans don't know how to cook very well. Although they follow Jin to manage logistics, cooking is still a difficult skill for Saiyans. But now in the wilderness, the modern cooking methods that Li Ziming is familiar with are of no use at all in the wilderness. He has no choice but to choose this most primitive method. However, this most primitive stewing method can also bring out the original flavor of the ingredients. After that, he called the three bears and asked them to start digging holes in the open space, while he began to collect nearby wood. Considering the size of the Hankrila bird, there must be enough wood to cook it. But when Ziming was collecting wood, he suddenly discovered that there were some rice-like plants not far away. He walked forward and took a look. Oh, it was another familiar old friend, the crystal clear spice species. Spice species, plant type, capture level 1 or below. With this thing, you can put it together with vanilla into the body of the Hankrila bird and simmer it together. I believe different aromas will emerge. Rolling up his sleeves, Ziming went forward and started picking the spice seeds. They looked like rice in appearance and the fruits inside also looked very much like rice. With a gentle rub of his hands, the outer shell of the spice seeds was easily rubbed off, revealing the crystal clear spice seeds. The moment the spice seed appeared, a faint fragrance emerged from his hands. Unlike other seasonings, the taste of the spice seed was more like a unique fragrance of grain, but it was more obvious than the taste of ordinary rice and the taste was more unique. Ziming liked it very much and felt that it went well with the Hankrila bird. After collecting these spices, Ziming put them into his backpack and continued to look for suitable firewood to see if he could come across any other seasonings. He also wanted to find some large leaves that could wrap the Hankrila bird. Soon, he collected a lot of wood, enough for cooking the Hankrila bird, but he didn't see any other seasonings, which was a pity. However, on the way back, he saw a unique coconut grove. Not only were the leaves very large, but the coconuts on them also looked like lanterns. Wine coconut, fruit capture level 1 or below. Ziming looked at the surrounding wine coconut forest. Aren't these the wine coconuts that Toriko drank when she went looking for baby corn? He didn't expect there would be one here too. Although it was quite unexpected, it was still acceptable. After all, Hankrila Island also has a tropical climate, so it's normal to have this kind of thing, right? With these wine coconuts, not only can you drink wine, but you can also harvest so many large leaves, which are just enough to wrap the Hankrila bird. And when you smell the leaves, there is a faint smell of wine. Isn't this ready-made cooking wine? The air dance technique was activated, and Ziming began to collect coconuts and coconut leaves nearby. Not only could he eat the bigger Hankrila bird, but he could also drink wine while eating meat. However, judging from the alcohol content, it should be quite high, so he decided to drink it later. Soon, he had collected all the coconuts and coconut leaves. Now that the ingredients were prepared, it was time to go back and cook the Hankrila bird. Quickly returning to the previous open space, Hankrila's bird was intact. There was a super large pit next to it. The three bears were guarding nearby, waiting for Ziming's return. Seeing this scene, Ziming was very satisfied with the results of the three bears. On the one hand, he was satisfied with the pit they dug, and on the other hand, he was satisfied with their loyalty. In this case, let them also taste the flavor of the bigger Hankrila bird. Put the collected wood into the pit, and blast it with a micro-qigong wave, which easily ignites the wood. The fire spreads and thick smoke billows. It won't be long before the wood will emit astonishing heat. Taking advantage of this time, Ziming started to make the bigger Hankrila bird. He took out some coconut leaves and spread them on the ground, then put the Hankrila bird on top. He put some vanilla, fairy truffles, coriander seeds and a few amazing oranges into its body, as well as the vegetarian meat from the bone and meat tree and the steaks from a roasted whole pig. The coconut leaves are then rolled into ropes to firmly seal the various spices and delicacies inside the Hankrila bird's body. Other coconut leaves are then used to slowly wrap it, leaving no bit of the bird's skin exposed. While taking advantage of this opportunity, Ziming looked at the soil dug out by Sangsheng nearby. Although it was not Lois, it could still be used to make beggar's chicken. He dug a hole in the middle of them, then took out the wine coconuts, broke them open, and poured all the wine inside the wine coconuts into the pile of mud. He did this 1 by 1, 2, 3, and finally broke open 10 wine coconuts. A strong aroma of wine began to spread, and Ziming was so immersed in it that it even attracted the three bears around him. I have to say that the aroma of this wine coconut is particularly pleasant, but the alcohol content is about 50 to 60 degrees or even higher. However, for the Saiyans, it is still acceptable. After all, after they conquered the planet, eating and drinking with big mouthfuls has become the norm. However, they basically drink wine and fruit wine, and rarely have such a high concentration of wine. Of course, except for Sun Wukong, he can't drink any. After a short while, the wine mud mixed with a strong aroma of wine was ready. Ziming enjoyed the mixing process very much. He had not played with mud like a child for a long time. Taking this opportunity, he experienced the joy of his childhood again. The next step is simple. Slowly spread all the wine mud on the hankarila bird wrapped in coconut leaves, spreading it evenly without leaving any gaps. In this way, you can perfectly utilize the heat of the wood to roast the hankarila bird. After applying, let it cool down a little to let the wine mud solidify a little, and Li Ziming began to dig out the wood in the pit. After a period of burning, a lot of the wood has turned into red charcoal, and there is no open flame or thick smoke. It is the best time to place the ingredients. Seeing this, he directly picked up the hankarila bird that was perfectly wrapped in wine mud and threw it into the fire pit. Then he called 3 idle bears and asked them to cover the beggar hankarila bird in the pit with mud and roast it. Soon, the fire pit disappeared, and the ground was gradually covered and flattened. But Li Ziming knew that it would be difficult to roast the beggar hankarila bird only by the heat from the charcoal in the fire pit, so he needed to rekindle a bonfire on top and bake it on both sides like an oven. In this way, the heat could be used to roast the bird perfectly. Li Ziming immediately cut down a large tree nearby and rearranged a bonfire in a tic-tac-toe shape above the fire pit. This not only allowed the fire to burn perfectly, but also gave off more heat and burned for a longer time. Now, everything is perfect, we just need to wait for the delicious food to come out of the pot. I guess it won't be long before we can eat the delicious beggar hankarila bird. Letting the flames slowly roast the food, Li Ziming called Xiang Dai, Xiang Er, and Wang Gang and asked them to lie on the ground. He then jumped on them and lay down, resting while waiting for the food to be cooked and thinking about future plans. After this cooking experience, he also realized the troublesome process of making dishes. He felt that he still needed to find a partner to help him prepare the ingredients he caught. He only needed to eat them, and the partner had to do the preparation. It would be even better if it was a female partner, but who to find? This was a problem. And you also need a whole mount, preferably one that can fly. After all, the upper limit of the unicorn bears is there. Unless you train them often in the future, the strength of the bears will probably be just that. After that, Li Ziming looked towards the system store to see if there were any props or pets. It didn't matter what he saw, there were not only props but also a lot of them in the system store. Not only the tailed beasts in Naruto, but also various rare beasts in One Piece, and even various Pokémon. However, the prices were not what he could redeem. The most common green caterpillar required 100 points, and he only had 30 points now. However, as Li Ziming browsed, he found a very familiar item in the system store, that is, the mount that Master Roshi gave to Son Goku in the Dragon Ball world, which is the yellow somersault cloud. Somersault cloud, divided cloud available at any time, a flying prop from the Dragon Ball world, not afraid of bullets, guns and all other physical attacks, but will be dispersed by abnormal attacks. Only people with a kind heart can ride on it. After the system is modified, anyone can ride on it, but the means to detect kindness are retained. Price, 100 points. This somersault cloud is a good thing. It not only has unlimited power, but also has a very fast speed. Although it is not as good as the high-speed flight after the explosion, it can save physical strength. It may be broken up by abnormal attacks, but you get what you pay for. The price is 100 points, which is well worth the price. Although he still had very few points, he believed that it would be easy for him to earn 100 points by spending a few days on Hangar-Rila Island. Just as Li Ziming was imagining riding on a somersault cloud and leaving Hangar-Rila Island in the future, a smell of meat wafted from the fire not far away. It not only attracted the attention of the 3 bears and made them drool, but also Li Ziming could not resist the smell. At the same time, a round, bald old man wearing small glasses flew over the sky above Hangar-Rila Island. He suddenly smelled a unique fragrance. Following the smell, he saw the 3 bears and Li Ziming on the island. This aroused his great interest, and he immediately fell from midair and fell towards their location. Chapter 5. There was a loud bang in the sky, and the round bald master made a brilliant appearance. He descended from the sky, created a big hole, and stirred up a cloud of dust. Li Ziming and Sangsheng were so frightened that they immediately became alert. Not knowing what was going on, they immediately assumed a fighting stance and stared at the big pit not far away. As the dust settled, a figure walked out from the dust. Looking at his appearance, Li Ziming couldn't help but have a familiar yet strange feeling. Isn't this the national treasure of gourmet mankind, the abbot of Shilin Temple, the top chef, and one of the members of Zone 0 of Igo, Master Zhen Zhen Zhen? Achieve Gold Achievement, Rare National Treasure Gourmet Achievement Reward, 1000 points. Oh, I smell a very strange fragrance. Boy, are you a cook? Zhen asked while smelling the fragrance in the air. Li Ziming did not feel happy about getting 1000 points. Under pressure, he replied, I guess so, but I am currently a food hunter. Gourmet hunter. Master Zhen turned and looked at the tail around Li Ziming's waist, thinking. Can I, an old man, please taste the food you made? Of course, food tastes better when it is shared. Please join us. Li Ziming said happily. These words made Master Zhen's favor for Li Ziming doubled, and he even saw a familiar figure behind him, as if Yulong had said the same thing at the beginning. Hearing this, Master Zhen couldn't help but burst into laughter. Boy, you are very good, what should I call you? You can call me, Li Ziming. Master Zhen. Okay, Day Wan, it seems like you know me. Zhen asked puzzledly. I guess so. I've seen you on TV. My name is Li Ziming, Master. Li Ziming thought, in his previous life, he was a captive of delicious food that he often watched twice, so how come he didn't count the ones he saw on TV? Okay Xiaoming, are you a registered food hunter of Igo? My name is Li Ziming, Master Zhen. I'm not a registered gourmet hunter yet, just an ordinary hunter. Hearing this, Master Zhen's eyes lit up. He didn't expect that Li Ziming was actually a casual person, and he seemed to be quite capable. He felt that he was a promising talent, but he didn't know how good his cooking skills were. If possible, he could be absorbed into Shilin Temple. Li Ziming was very excited at the moment. He finally understood how to achieve achievements. He would get achievements by meeting characters in the plot. So, if he met the protagonists Toriko and Komatsu, he would surely get a lot of points. While the master was thinking, Li Ziming looked at the campfire. The wood was almost burned out, and the beggar Hankrila bird was almost cooked. Cooking in the gourmet world is so fast. After sweeping away the ashes, he began to dig, trying to find the beggar Hankrila bird. Soon, a super big mud ball appeared. Li Ziming gently knocked open the wine mud. After high temperature stewing, the alcohol had evaporated perfectly and the outer shell had no smell. However, during the cooking process, the taste of coconut wine still penetrated into the beggar's chicken. As Li Ziming opened the wrapped beggar's bird, a unique aroma gradually burst out from the gap. He even vaguely saw a hint of golden light accompanying the birth of the delicacy. Not only Li Ziming was drooling, the three bears were drooling as well. Of course, compared to Master Zhen, this was nothing. He had eaten much more delicious things, and the food in front of him could only barely arouse his interest. Looking at the delicious food in front of him, Li Ziming clasped his hands together and once again recited Toriko's prayer before the meal. Thanks for all the food in the world, I'm going to eat. Next was the time for a feast. He tore a piece of bird leg with his bare hands. However, Li Ziming still suppressed his appetite and handed it to Master Zhen. After all, the elder was here, so he must give it to Master Zhen first. This is our tradition. When Zhen saw this, his opinion of him increased again. He took the beggar's bird leg and started eating. The master took a bite of the meat and his eyes widened instantly. This is called Hankrila bird leg meat, which melts in the mouth and contains gravy like high-quality Wagyu beef. It is sweet and delicious, and has a fatty taste similar to tuna belly, with a hint of coconut wine mixed with the aroma of spices, which is hard to stop. In addition, this unique braising and roasting method not only enhances the taste and flavor of the beggar Hankrila bird, but also retains the juiciness and tenderness of the ingredients. It is not only healthy but also more delicious. Although there is still a little bit less, it is also a delicious dish. When Li Ziming saw Master Zhen start to eat, he immediately tore off another bird leg and began to devour it. It was indeed the delicacy he had worked so hard to make. It was delicious. In no time, a big bird leg was in his stomach. Just as he was about to taste the beggar bird wings, he suddenly heard the sound of flowing water. Turning around, he saw that the saliva of the three bears next to him had gathered into a small river. Seeing this, Li Ziming couldn't help laughing out loud. After that, he tore off half of the beggar bird and threw it towards the three bears. When the clever big bear saw this, he immediately jumped into the air, bit the delicacy and started eating. As soon as he took a bite, his eyes lit up and there were only 4 words in his mind: no regrets in his life. Second bear and Wang Gang were stunned for a moment, then hurried forward to snatch the food from the bear's mouth and began to taste the flavor of the Hankrila bird. The remaining half went into the stomachs of Li Ziming and Master Zhen Zhen Zhen. Not a single bit of the delicacy was left, only a few bones. After eating the beggar Hankila bird, Master Zhen Zhen made up his mind and simply invited Li Ziming to join Shilin Temple. Muziiriu, do you want to join Shilin Temple to practice? Hearing this, Li Ziming was stunned. He did not expect that the master would actually invite him to join Shilin Temple. What kind of place is that? It is a place to practice the meaning of food. If he succeeds in practicing and comprehends the highest level of the meaning of food, he will be able to eat unlimited delicacies. Not only will his appetite increase, but his combat effectiveness and endurance will also be greatly improved. Master, I do. After hearing the answer he wanted, Zhen 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 felt better. After all, there were countless delicacies in this era, but there were very few food hunters willing to share. He then prepared to take Li Ziming away from here and bring him back to Shilin Temple first. Do you have anything else to do here? If not, let's leave. Master, there is one more thing. There are sweet fruits in that place. Can I pick them before leaving? Master Zhen Zhen looked at the place where Li Ziming pointed. There were several huge plants on the bare top of the mountain in the distance, and there were indeed several purple fruits on them. No problem, just go ahead, when you're done picking, we'll leave here. Okay, Master, I'll go right away. After that, Li Ziming activated the air dance technique and flew towards the top of a mountain not far away. Master Zhen Zhen was very surprised to see that he could fly. He flew over the chocolate fountain, the cream river, and the group of trumpet lions. After a while, he successfully reached the top of the mountain, but the sky gradually darkened. Li Ziming also felt a little regretful that he lacked some equipment to absorb liquids, otherwise he would definitely be able to collect some of the chocolate and cream. Unexpectedly, as soon as he landed on the top of the mountain, he felt something soft under his feet. If he remembered correctly, this mountain was a caramel pudding volcano. However, now was not the time to explore this, because as soon as he landed, he was surrounded by a group of cocoa koalas. Cocoa koala, mammalian capture level 3. Looking at the cocoa koalas that surrounded him, Li Ziming was not afraid at all, and he was very interested in the cocoa fruits on the backs of the cocoa koalas. Before he got close, he smelled the rich scent of cocoa and felt that he could collect some so that he could make some desserts in the future. But this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the sweet and whole fruits not far away. There are two crystal clear purple fruits similar to cherries on a large tree. One is intact and the other is half-eaten. There are also several small fruit trees next to it, but the fruits on them are very small and obviously not mature. Sweet fruit, fruit capture level 5. Of course, the most important boss cannot be forgotten. Upon hearing the cry of Kaka Koala, the big boss Dozakuzen Koala jumped down from beside a sweet fruit and roared at Li Ziming, the invader. Dozakuzen Koala, marsupial capture level 5. Looking at the half-eaten sweet fruit, Li Ziming was very angry. If he had come a step later, perhaps the other one would have been eaten by Dozakuzen Koala, and his mission would have failed. If he had to wait for the other trees to grow, it would probably take several months. He was so angry that he rushed directly towards Dozakuzen Koala, ready to teach this strawberry bear a little lesson and beat it so hard that its mother wouldn't recognize him. Unexpectedly, upon seeing this, Dozakuzen Koala roared and made a huge spin around the sweet fruit plant. Using the power of the spin, he punched Li Ziming directly. The fists of both sides collided instantly, and the next second, Li Ziming was blown away. It must be said that although Dozakuzen Koala was only captured at level 5, his strength was still very high, especially with a big spin in advance. Although Li Ziming's combat power was similar to his, and his body was strengthened a little by the gourmet cells after coming to this world, he was unfortunately prepared in advance. There is no way, because the original body was a reserve personnel, rarely went out to fight, and did not know many combat skills. Li Ziming, who was lying in the round pit, was about to get up to fight back, but unexpectedly Dozakuzen Koala jumped down and punched and kicked him, pressing him so hard that he could not stand up. Li Ziming exploded with anger upon seeing this, and directly sent Dozakuzen Koala flying. At this moment, he was very angry, and the angry Scion's combat effectiveness would naturally be greatly enhanced. What kind of person actually dared to suppress the Scions and fight them? He chased after him with a quick step and beat Dozakuzen Koala hard. Even though he was huge, he was no match for the angry Li Ziming and was soon knocked away by Li Ziming with an air bullet. Although he was fighting very hard, Li Ziming forgot one thing, Saiyans would transform into giant apes when they encountered the moon, and as a low-level Saiyan, it would be difficult for him to resist. As night fell over the world, a full moon appeared on the branches, and Li Ziming's body shook violently, emitting a violent aura. Dozaku's Ankala immediately noticed something was wrong and quickly retreated back to the sweet fruit tree. Li Ziming, who noticed something strange, immediately said to Master Zhen Zhen, "Master, I might lose my mind in a moment, remember to knock me out and help me pick the sweet fruit." "Sure, Moon-chan." Under the surprised gaze of Zhen 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 and the horrified gazes of the Dozakuzang and Kaka Koala groups, Li Ziming's body expanded rapidly in a way visible to the naked eye, and gradually grew hair, eventually turning into a red-eyed, black-haired gorilla. This is the Scion's trump card, transformation into a giant ape. Dozakuzan Koala, human, you have no moral principles. Chapter 6. Seeing Li Ziming transformed into a giant ape, Zhen Zhenzhen's eyes widened in shock. He thought it was a food demon that had come out. But it doesn't look like it. Generally, the gourmet demons that parasitize the host's body are basically human-like in appearance, and beasts are very rare. Moreover, the conditions for the gourmet demon to materialize usually consume a lot of the host's physical strength and calories, and Li Ziming doesn't seem to have stored a huge amount of energy. At this moment, after Li Ziming turned into a gorilla, he was instantly controlled by the violent emotions in the Saiyan blood, and he roared towards the moon in the sky. Then he looked at Dozakuzan Koala on the side. Without saying much, he put all four paws on the ground, rushed towards the opponent quickly, and punched him, just an ordinary punch. After transforming into a giant ape, Li Ziming's combat capability was increased tenfold, and his strength and speed were also significantly improved. It was really easy to deal with a Dozakuzan Koala of capture level 5. Dozakuzan Koala was so frightened when he saw the gorilla, which was several times larger than himself, rushing towards him with a huge fist. He froze in place, and a song suddenly rose in his heart, "Goodbye, mother. I'm sailing away tonight. Don't worry about me. The pain will only last for a short time." With a punch, Dozaku's Ankala was sent flying onto the sweet fruit tree, causing the tree to shake. Then he fell heavily to the ground, his life or death uncertain. After seeing the enemy being destroyed, the giant ape stepped directly on Dozakuzan Koala, roared to the sky, and declared his victory. When the creatures on the island heard the sound, they immediately fled quickly with the top of the mountain as the center to avoid becoming the next victim. Defeat Dozakuzan Koala and get 5 points. Achievement, A Scion without martial ethics achievement reward, 10 points. The giant ape then turned his gaze towards Master Zhen Zhen, who was watching the show on the side, and instantly rushed over, ready to tear the other party into pieces. Seeing this, Zhen Zhen understood why Li Ziming had told him to knock him out before he transformed. After the transformation, he saw enemies everywhere and couldn't tell friend from foe. Seeing another punch coming, the master didn't panic at all. He just stopped the giant ape's fist with one finger, then came to the giant ape's shoulder with lightning speed, and knocked the giant ape unconscious with a single hand knife. Then he watched the giant ape gradually shed its black hair, gradually shrink, and finally turn into a naked Li Ziming. Zhen Zhen watched this change and realized his specialness. At this moment, another intact fruit from the shaking sweet fruit tree fell to the ground and happened to fall next to Li Ziming. Seeing this scene, Master Zhen Zhen could not help but be surprised. This kid has good luck in food. Seeing that the food luck was so favorable to him, the master simply stopped thinking about it and simply made him a set of clothes out of plant fiber. Then he took off with the sweet fruit and flew directly towards the direction of Shilin Temple. Sanctuing. When Li Ziming woke up, the sun was already high in the sky. He stood up and looked at his plain purple clothes and the stone brick and wooden house in the room. He was confused again. No way, I'm not traveling through time again. It was not until he saw the prompt of the current world on the system panel that he realized that he was still in the world captured by delicious food. This was the place. It looked somewhat familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere before. At this moment, there were orderly voices coming from outside the door, which seemed to be the sound of prayers before dinner. Li Ziming then realized where this place was. Achieve Silver Achievement, arrive at Shilin Temple Achievement Reward, 100 points. When I walked out and took a look, I saw groups of people lined up in the martial arts training ground in the distance, praying and practicing martial arts. This was the Shilin Temple, and these people were all disciples of the Shilin Temple. Some of them came here to learn the ethics of food, and some of them were gourmet criminals who were about to be released from prison. Suddenly, a voice came from the side, you are awake, welcome to join Shilin Temple. Li Ziming turned around and saw a man dressed in red food justice attire appeared beside him. He was very excited when he saw the familiar appearance. Isn't this the acting teacher of Toriko and Komatsu? Although his strength is not very high, he has also completed the existence of food justice. I just don't know if he has passed the trial. Seeing his surprised expression, the acting teacher also began to introduce himself. I am the acting teacher of Shilin Temple, responsible for guiding you in the practice of basic food ethics. Once you have learned it, you can officially join Shilin Temple. You can call me Shu, can I call you Ziming? Of course you can, Shu. Achievement, Guide to Food and Justice Achievement Reward, 10 points. Hearing this, Li Ziming was very excited. This was the teacher who taught Toriko and Komatsu in the original work. With his guidance, he would be able to complete the basic food ethics training quickly. He believed that his fighting power would be greatly improved soon. Okay, thank you for repairing it. Li Ziming replied excitedly. Li Ziming is very much looking forward to the practice of food ethics. There are a lot of food in anime. Although the practice is very hard, the rewards are also very great. Acting teacher Fan Xiu smiled knowingly when he saw his excitement, then took him away and walked towards the training ground, introducing the course of practicing food ethics as they walked. It was through his introduction that Li Ziming learned about the stages of practicing the Yi of food, which are divided into 3 courses: Basic Yi of food, Intermediate Yi of food, and Advanced Yi of food. Moreover, everything in Shilin Temple is related to the practice of Yi of food. Soon, they arrived in front of the main hall of Shilin Temple. Li Ziming looked at the majestic building in front of him and had to say that the impact was very strong. It was worthy of being the face of Shilin Temple. This is the place for advanced food training, but it's too early for you, come this way. Just as he was about to leave, Li Ziming saw the pond in the courtyard, and it seemed that something was about to appear. Soon, ripples began to appear in the pond. Golden bubbles gradually emerged from the water and then floated in the air. It was very beautiful and seemed to be a unique witness. Seeing the treasure of Shilin Temple appear, Li Ziming felt pleasing to the eye, but his body suddenly shook, and he suddenly felt an endless desire, as if it did not come from himself, but from his own Saiyan blood. He was just about to reach out and touch it, but the next second, all the bubbles burst, and surprise was written all over Li Ziming's face. He realized that this seemed to be fake, and the real soap bubble fruit was not here at all. After seeing Li Ziming's shock, the acting teacher Fan Xiu stepped forward to explain, this is the treasure of our Shilin Temple, the soap bubble fruit, but this is not an ingredient you can touch now. You need to learn advanced food ethics and make a request to Master Zhen Zhen before you can capture this delicacy. Based on the nearby scene, the main task is now released, capturing the soap bubble fruit task reward, 10,000 points. After nodding blankly, Li Ziming fell into deep thought. The Saiyan blood actually wanted him to eat the soap bubble fruit. Could it be really so delicious? When he thought of this, countless saliva welled up in his mouth. Moreover, there was actually a mission, and he was directly rewarded with 10,000 points. If he captured it, he could go to a new world. The acting teacher Fan Xiu at the side turned around and his expression suddenly became serious. This newcomer to Shilin Temple, when he saw the soap bubble fruit, actually exuded such a ferocious and tyrannical aura from his body. It is said that he also has the ability to transform, which must be related to the gourmet cells. He is worthy of being the wild gourmet hunter who was admitted by Master Zhen Zhen as an exception. Afterwards, the two came to the hall for practicing basic food ethics and began to learn the first lesson of food ethics, Food Zen. Li Ziming sat in the hall, with a stick of incense-like object placed in front of him by the acting teacher Fan Xiu. Then, the acting teacher Fan Xiu began to talk about the practice of Food Zen and the requirements of Food Zen. Practicing food meditation is a psychological activity to express gratitude for food. Quietly listening to the call of one's own life and letting one's heart be filled with an attitude of gratitude is the basis of the meaning of food. In front of you is the Songming pencil grass that Master Zhen Zhen has transformed. It can also be called the heart-seeking pencil grass. It is one of the necessary tools for practicing the Yi of food. After it is lit, if it senses that you have any interest in it other than gratitude, it will go out. Let's try it now. After saying that, the acting teacher Fan Xiu lit the heart-seeing pen, and Li Ziming immediately put his hands together, trying to fill his heart with gratitude. It is easy to calm down, but it is not so easy to fill your heart with gratitude. People have 7 emotions and 6 desires, and any external sound can become an inducing factor, sometimes it is the sound of footsteps, sometimes it is the sound of wind, and sometimes it is the sound of burning grass on a pen. Less than 2 seconds had passed when the tip of the heart-seeing pen suddenly went out. Oh! Acting teacher Fan Xiu, if you can't calm down, just imagine yourself eating the ingredients you used. How did you feel when you ate them? Try to remember how you felt at that time and give it a try again. After hearing this, Li Ziming was thoughtful. As the acting teacher Fan Xiu lit the heart-seeing pen again, he put his hands together again and imagined himself in the prisoner of food. The first food he ate was a roasted whole pig. As this was the first food he had eaten after traveling through time, he was very happy when he ate it. Not only did he travel through time to his favorite food anime, but he also ate the roasted whole pig that he had been thinking about day and night in the anime. At this moment, he couldn't help but feel grateful for the roasted whole pig in his heart. It was the rich fat and meaty aroma of the roasted whole pig that convinced me that I had come to this world. It was this experience that allowed me to experience the joy of eating meat for the first time in my life. It was this experience that allowed me to successfully integrate into this world and set goals for the future. Of course, the one I should be most grateful for is the system. Thanks to its existence, I can have the blood of Saiyans, eat and drink as much as I want in this world, and improve my combat effectiveness. Gradually, Li Ziming's heart was filled with gratitude. Time was gradually slipping away. Before he knew it, under the surprised gaze of the acting teacher Fan Xiu, Li Ziming had persisted for an hour before the flame of the heart-seeing pen grass was extinguished. Not bad, not bad. I didn't expect you could hold on for so long. Just figure it out, let go of all distractions, and be filled with gratitude for everything, Li Ziming said with a smile. The acting teacher nodded and said, that's right. It's time for breakfast. Come with me and I'll show you our breakfast at Qilin Temple. Hearing this, Li Ziming's eyes suddenly lit up and drool leaked from the corners of his mouth. The breakfast at Qilin Temple is so cool, *Omega. Chapter 7. Li Ziming followed the acting teacher Fan Xiu to the kitchen, where the decoration was very simple and had a feeling of ancient Daxia. The acting teacher Fan Xiu brought him a bowl and chopsticks, then opened a jar, which contained a jar of white rice, and explained to him, this is one of the staple foods of our Shokurenji temple, egg rice. It is a grain, but when cooked, it becomes a very delicious egg rice with a little soy sauce in it. It is a delicacy that is highly praised by people who like to eat eggs. What you need to do is to control your strength and use chopsticks to pick up the rice one by one into the bowl. You can pick up as much as you want. But please note that if one rice egg is broken, it will cause a chain reaction, causing the whole bowl of rice egg to break, and the taste will become bland. Egg, capture level 63. Li Ziming was stunned when he saw the capture level. He did not expect the capture level of this egg rice to be so high. It turned out that the food, clothing, housing, and transportation of Qilin Temple were all closely related to the practice of food ethics. Holding the bowl in his left hand and chopsticks in his right hand, he walked to the rice jar, looked at the jar full of egg-shaped rice, and after calming down a little, he started to pick up rice. Soon, a grain of egg rice was picked up by Li Ziming. Now he was concentrating, not daring to relax his hands for a moment. In his heart, he was grateful for the ingredients, and his mental strength was extremely focused. As he moved slowly, he successfully put the egg rice into the bowl in a short while, thus successfully setting up a plate. With the previous operation, his next operation was very smooth. He picked up the egg rice grains one by one into the bowl. It was obvious that Li Ziming had become skilled in picking up the egg rice. Soon, the bowl was full. The acting teacher Fan Xiu at the side was very satisfied with this scene. It is very simple to pick up the egg rice. The important thing is to control the strength all the time and not relax. Once you relax, the dam may burst. Li Ziming saw the full bowl of egg rice and thought it was enough for him, so he stopped eating. Then he brought the egg rice to the acting teacher Fan Xiu and handed it to him. You can fill a bowl for the first time. That's great. Wait a minute, I'll cook for you. Watching the acting teacher Fan Xiu leave, he simply followed him to see how he cooked the egg rice. If he remembered correctly, this ingredient was special when taken, and to cook it, he just needed to add it to the cooking like ordinary rice. Following all the way to the kitchen, I saw the acting teacher, with hands so fast that my eyes couldn't catch up, quickly picked up the rice grains one by one and put them into the pot to cook. Before I could blink, the whole bowl of egg rice was in the pot. Li Ziming was stunned. She was indeed the acting teacher of Qilin Temple. At this moment, there were only 4 words in his heart: Practice more if you are not good at cooking. Acting teacher Fan Xiu added water and started the rice cooker, then walked to Li Ziming and said, while the rice is cooking, let's do the next practice. The two then walked out of the hall and came to the nearby martial arts training ground. Looking at the cactus not far away and the marks on the wall, Li Ziming's mouth twitched involuntarily. Isn't this the cactus that Toriko and Komatsu used to practice the Shi Yi posture? As expected, the next second, the acting teacher Fan Xiu explained the project of this training. In the etiquette of eating, the most basic posture is to put your hands together and then offer a greeting. Please remember this correct posture. And this is the thank you cactus that Master Zhen Zhen has improved. It will automatically detect the standard of the thank you posture of the person in front of it. Please stand over here. Li Ziming walked to the cactus of gratitude with trepidation, and without the acting teacher's reminder, he put his hands together and offered a salute. The next second, countless thorns shot out from the grateful cactus. In just a moment, they cut his skin, leaving a series of red marks, and then nailed deeply into the wall not far away. Obviously, Li Ziming's gesture of gratitude still needs to be improved. After this incident, Li Ziming immediately began to adjust his posture to avoid being attacked again. It would be okay if he was attacked on his skin, but if he was attacked on his capital, it would be a waste of time. Soon, after several rounds of thank you shots from the cactus, Li Ziming's thank you gesture was close to perfect, and it was obvious that he was about to graduate from this program. When the acting teacher Fan Xiu saw this scene, he couldn't help but sigh that there are still many geniuses in this world. Obviously, it won't be long before he can learn the ethics of food. After thinking for a while, he decided to increase the difficulty for Li Ziming to see if he could bring out his potential and make him grow quickly. At this time, Li Ziming thought he could just eat and recover from his injuries, but who knew that the acting teacher Fan Xiu actually brought him a seed. Come on, finish this one project for today, then you can rest today and then you can eat. This is the seed of the ham rose. After being transformed by Master Zhen Zhen, it can absorb the emotion of gratitude and bloom into a ham flower. The more gratitude there is, the faster it grows, and the tastier it will be. Listening to the answer given by the acting teacher Fan Xiu, Li Ziming felt helpless but had no choice but to accept it. After all, this was how the practice in Qilin Temple was, and no one knew what might happen. Taking the flower pot and seeds, he sat on the ground, dug a hole, buried the soil, and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The small flower pot was so great, the small seeds bloomed into ham flowers. Grow up quickly, so that I can have a good rest and have a meal. After watering the plants, Li Ziming put his hands together and began to meditate without looking into the heart of the grass. At the same time, his body began to exude a breath of gratitude. As time passed, in just half an hour, the seeds of the ham rose sprouted, and then grew rapidly. In a few seconds, a ham flower with a meaty aroma appeared in front of him. Ham rose, special plant capture level 15. Smelling the fragrance in the air, Li Ziming couldn't help but drool. He thought he could finally eat now. Little did he know that the acting teacher Fan Xiu was already sweating with surprise at this moment. He didn't expect that even the ham rose could grow so quickly. What kind of monster did he cultivate? But no matter how surprised he was, this was his future colleague, and maybe not long after, he might even become his boss. It all depended on Master Zhen Zhen's arrangements. Under Li Ziming's expectant gaze, acting teacher Fan Xiu said the words he had longed for, well, next, let's eat. Carrying the ham rose that exuded the aroma of meat, the two returned to the kitchen. The egg rice had turned into fragrant egg rice, and Li Ziming's stomach growled at the smell. After the acting teacher Fan Xiu served the egg rice, today's breakfast time will officially begin. The configuration of 1 rice and 1 meat is indeed a little less, but it is delicious. Of course, the prayer before the meal cannot be missed. I'm grateful for all the food in the world. I'm going to start cooking. After that, Li Ziming sat at the dining table and started to eat the egg rice. It must be said that this egg rice was particularly delicious. Not only did it taste like eggs, but it also contained some soy sauce, just like eating fish roe, each grain bursting, making people unable to stop. Moreover, there are ham roses that are fed out of gratitude. The flowers, roots, stems and leaves are all edible. Pick up a piece of ham, match it with the leaves of its branches, wrap them together, and pair them with egg rice. Layers of deliciousness are stacked together. The leaves with the crisp lettuce flavor are paired with the ham roses with a strong meaty aroma. Li Ziming feels like he can never eat enough. Soon, he finished the bowl of egg rice and ham roes. However, after finishing the meal, when he was sitting on a chair to rest, Ziming suddenly felt that he had forgotten something. After thinking about it carefully, I came to Shilin Temple as soon as I woke up this morning. I guess I was brought here by Master Zhen Zhen. Before that, I was affected by the moon, turned into a giant ape, and fought with Dozakuzang Koala, and then came here. It was at this moment that he suddenly remembered what he had forgotten. 3 bears, finally. Ziming asked the acting teacher beside him, Shu, when Master Zhen Zhen came back, did he bring back a huge fruit? Sanctions. Acting teacher Fan Shu recalled the scene of yesterday, and then realized what he said, you mean the sweet whole fruit? Yes, it's there, Shu. The master took it away. He told you to go and get it after you master the basic meaning of food. Then does my performance today count as mastering the basics of eating? Calculate. What are you waiting for? Come on, I'll treat you to some sweet whole fruit. After that, Ziming rushed out of the hall directly, but when he looked at the dazzling array of Shilin Temple around him, he didn't know where Master Zhen Zhen was, and he was confused at the moment. Come with me, the master is over there. The acting teacher Fan Shu who followed over pointed to the hall not far away. Looking at the main hall that symbolizes Shilin Temple, Ziming couldn't help but pat his head, wondering how he could be so confused that he could forget such a simple thing. Then he followed the acting teacher Fan Shu to the main hall to look for Master Zhen Zhen. They soon arrived at the main hall, pushed open the door and looked. Master Zhen Zhen was not far away. At the same time, there were countless heart-peaking pen grass burning around him. It was obvious that at this moment, the master's heart was filled with gratitude and nothing else. Seeing the arrival of the two, the master woke up from his meditation, but none of the heart-peaking pen grasses around him went out, which showed that the master was so determined in his heart. Why are you here? Master, Ziming has already mastered the basic meaning of food, so I brought him here to receive the sweet whole fruit. Hearing this, Master Zhen Zhen's heart suddenly relaxed, and the flames of the surrounding heart-seeing pen grass began to fluctuate. It has been less than half a day, and he has mastered the meaning of food that ordinary people can only master in 100 days. Is this still a human being? He has a tail and can transform into a giant gorilla. It seems that he is not really a human being. In that case, you can take the sweet whole fruit, said Master Zhen Zhen, calming his trembling voice. As soon as he finished speaking, a huge, sweet whole fruit appeared out of thin air. The huge fruit emitted a brilliant purple light, and at the same time a sweet smell began to spread. Ziming stepped forward and reached out to touch the sweet whole fruit in front of him. This was the trophy he had obtained after defeating Dozakuzang Koala with great effort. His mission was finally accomplished. Complete the main mission, capture the sweet fruit, points plus 100. Chapter 8. Ziming looked at the points that had been credited to his account, and then looked at his total points, which had reached 1,255 points. He could have exchanged them for the Jinduyun, Finayun, long ago. However, he was not in a hurry to exchange it. He was practicing in Shilin Temple and had nowhere to go for the time being. It would be better to keep it for later. Next, he was going to taste the sweet whole fruit known as the fruit house of the earth. It was so huge that he obviously couldn't finish it all by himself, so he simply asked the people from Shilin Temple to eat it. Ziming said to the acting teacher next to him, Shu, I will treat everyone to sweet whole fruit, as my welcome gift after Shilin Temple. Really? Ziming, then I'd like to thank you on behalf of everyone at Shilin Temple. Shu replied excitedly. After all, they rarely got to eat such delicious fruits. Master Zhen Zhen, who was standing by, also smiled in his heart. He thought that this person was indeed the one he had chosen. In this era of gourmet food, knowing how to share is more important than anything else. After bidding farewell to Master Zhen, the two men walked out of the hall holding the huge sweet whole fruit. Since they couldn't go to the kitchen now, they simply asked the acting master Fan Shu to cut the sweet whole fruit. Suddenly, a miniature knife appeared on the arm of the acting teacher Fan Shu, and then he jumped easily into the air and performed a series of butchering moves. The next second, as the acting teacher Fan Shu landed, the whole sweet fruit turned into even-sized shapes and fell into a nearby fruit plate. This is the world of gourmet food, with moves unique to masters, and energy concrete attack methods. Some are chopsticks, some are knives, some are sounds, some are hair, some are poison, and there are all kinds of attacks. There is nothing in this world that people cannot do, except what you can't think of. Li Ziming was very curious whether he could imitate their attack methods and integrate them into his own attack types. After all, he only had the Saiyans fighting instincts, a small Qigong wave, and the trump card of giant ape transformation. His means of attack were still too few. As he said that, Li Ziming slapped himself. With delicious food in front of him, why was he still daydreaming? He could just go to the store after eating and find the answer. Looking at the acting teacher Fan Xiu, he called someone to distribute the cut sweet whole fruit plate to various departments. After a while, only a few large pieces were left. These were all his, and of course some were also for the acting teacher Fan Xiu. Now it's all ours. Come on, Xiu, let's taste the sweet whole fruit. Li Ziming said as he came to the fruit plate with drooling mouth. I'm grateful for all the food in this world. I'm going to start eating sweet whole fruits. The two of them each took a piece of the sweet whole fruit and began to eat. The moment they put it in their mouths, the sweetness of more than a dozen kinds of fruits hit them in the face, including cantaloupe, watermelon, papaya, apple, cherry and other sweetness. With every bite, the taste of several kinds of fruits emerged, and the rich juice was filled with an extremely sweet taste. The two of them only took a bite and were reluctant to leave. It is worthy of being one of the most famous high-end fruits in nature, and it is worthy of being called the fruit house of the earth by the world. At this moment, both of them were immersed in the sweetness of the whole fruit, and then they took the second bite, and the third bite, until the whole fruit was eaten, and then they gradually woke up. Li Ziming looked at the remaining sweet whole fruit and suddenly had an idea for making a dish. Since Komatsu made the rainbow fruit into patches in the anime, would it be more delicious if the sweet whole fruit was made into pudding? Thinking of this, he turned his gaze to the acting teacher Fan Xiu next to him. Xiu, I have a good idea, how about making the sweet fruit into pudding? Good idea, Ziming. Wait a minute, you eat first, I'll go try to make it. Afterwards, the acting teacher Fan Xiu walked into the kitchen with a few pieces of sweet whole fruit, leaving him alone to taste the flavor of the sweet whole fruit. However, seeing that there were still a lot of sweet whole fruit, Li Ziming chose to put them into the system backpack to avoid oxidation and store them. He could taste them later and maybe even tempt the four heavenly kings. While waiting, Li Ziming also browsed the system mall to see if there were any skills or moves to add some attack methods for himself. Upon looking at it, it discovered several familiar moves from the Dragon Ball world. Tian Xinyan Sun Fist, price, 500 points. Krillin's Qi Yuan Zhan, price, 1000 points. Master Roshi's Kamehameha, price, 1000 points. Yadetra's Instant Teleportation, price, 5000 points. King Kai's King Fist, sold for 10,000 points. The moves and skills from the Dragon Ball world are still the most suitable for him. Although he has enough points, as a Tun rat, he still chooses to stare blankly and continue to brush the system store. As he was brushing, he saw several major skills of this world, which came from the four heavenly kings here. Toriko's Sense of Smell, price, 5000 points. Coco's Poisonous Body, price, 5000 points. Sunny's Hair, price, 5000 points. Zebra's Voice, price, 5000 points. These are the foundation of their existence and the reason for their strength. Li Ziming fantasizes that if he possesses the characteristics of the four heavenly kings, he will probably become a very terrifying existence, although his Saiyan bloodline already makes his combat power very terrifying. Anyway, he doesn't have many points now, so Li Ziming can only give up for now. He should learn Shi'ai first, and then he can buy it when he has points in the future. By then, the characteristics of the four heavenly kings will be integrated into himself, and he will be so powerful. Soon, he finished eating several pieces of sweet whole fruit while sitting on the ground, and his whole body felt extremely satisfied. But at this moment, a sweet smell appeared, and Li Ziming's mouth began to drool again. Acting teacher Fan Xiu also brought 2 servings of pudding made from sweet fruits, which successfully attracted Li Ziming's attention. Although it did not produce a rainbow scene like the rainbow fruit, it was still a sweet dessert. Ziming, your idea is very good. Sweet fruits are very suitable for making pudding. How did you come up with this idea? The acting teacher asked curiously. Where the sweet fruit is found, there is a huge mountain of pudding, so it seems like maybe they are related. Let's not talk about anything else for now, let's try it, I can't wait. Li Ziming said while swallowing his saliva. Each person was given a portion of sweet fruit pudding. I picked up the spoon and gently scooped out a piece of purple-red pudding. It was bouncy and very pleasing to the eye. When I took another bite, it was not as sweet as the fruit pulp. After being made into pudding, it had a mellow feeling and endless aftertaste, as if this was the taste of sweet fruit. Now, both of them were satisfied physically and mentally. This is what eating desserts is like. Everyone will feel especially happy, especially after eating such a sweet and delicious full fruit pudding. This sweet whole fruit is already so satisfying. Li Ziming now has only one question in his mind: how delicious will the rainbow fruit be? How delicious will it be if it is made into pudding? Even Toriko, who has very high requirements, has added it to the dessert menu of his life. He is excited just thinking about it. According to the current time, the protagonist Toriko and her partner Komatsu have not met yet, and the two are still continuing to do their own work. The time period when they meet is when Igo will host a banquet for the heads of state of various countries and capture the Kara crocodile. When they came to their senses, they both had finished their sweet fruit pudding and it was almost noon. However, neither of them felt like eating. Wouldn't it be nice to savor the sweet fruit? At this moment, the acting teacher Fan Qiu suddenly remembered something and said to Li Ziming, "Ziming, in order to welcome you, Master Zhen Zhen has held a welcome party for you, which is held at the 10-star restaurant not far away, Union Restaurant. There are a lot of delicious dishes there. If you know the basics of eating, you can already eat a lot of delicious food." Hearing this, Li Ziming was stunned. That was a 10-star restaurant. You know, the gourmet hotel where Komatsu was located was a 5-star restaurant. Although it later became a 6-star restaurant because of the century soup, it was still very far from the Union Restaurant. Although in the original work, Toriko and Komatsu also went to eat once before coming to Shukran Temple to practice the etiquette of food, but that time, they did not learn the etiquette of food, so there were only a few things they could eat. Li Ziming became nervous after hearing the answer from the acting teacher Fan Qiu that they could only eat most of the delicacies after learning the basic etiquette of food. Thinking of this, I will have to eat less at night. Thinking of this, Li Ziming said to the acting teacher Fan Qiu, "Qiu, do you have Shi's training this afternoon? I finally have the chance to eat at a 10-star restaurant. I'm going to eat a lot tonight." Smiley face, "You were the one who proposed the training, I didn't force you to do it. Come with me." Afterwards, the two returned to the hall and practiced food meditation again, but they used not 1 but 10 pieces of the heart-seeing pen grass. The most important thing in practicing the meaning of eating is to practice eating meditation, which allows you to always have a feeling of gratitude in your heart, thereby mastering the power of your body and integrating your consciousness and body. Your goal for this eating meditation is 6 hours, which is exactly the time for the evening dinner. However, there is a prerequisite, that is, I will continue to place the heart-seeing pen grass, so as to greatly improve my understanding of the meaning of food. Li Ziming naturally knew that in order to eat the delicious food he had been craving for in the evening, he needed to have a greater understanding of the etiquette of food. Afterwards, at the nod of the two, the acting teacher Fan Qiu lit the 10 stalks of the heart-seeing pen grass and officially began a new food meditation. The process of eating Zen is long. As the acting teacher Fan Qiu continuously lights up new pen tips, Li Ziming's heart is filled with gratitude for all things. His inner thoughts are not shaken at all. As time goes by, the night also covers the entire starry sky. When the time came for the dinner, there were already 30 heart-seeing pen grasses around Li Ziming. It was obvious that he could maintain the feeling of gratitude in his heart for a long time. The practice was completed, so it was time to eat. Not long after, the acting teacher and Li Ziming arrived in front of the Union Restaurant. Looking at the plain restaurant in front of them, Li Ziming was very excited. Then he and the acting teacher pushed open the door and walked in. A ninja-like man in red clothes came into view. "Thank you very much for visiting Kumagakura Restaurant. I am Chiru, the head chef." Chapter 9. Please come in, everyone from Shilin Temple is already seated. Chef Kunliu politely invited the two in. Achievement, Chiru, the chef of the Hidden Cloud Village. Achievement reward, 10 points. After Li Ziming walked into the Union Restaurant, although the surroundings were wooden structures, it looked particularly unusual. Obviously, the wood here was the same as that of the Shilin Temple, both of which were made of the wood of the invisible tree, the shyest tree in the gourmet world. The most important thing is that the ingredients here are very sensitive, and you need to master the etiquette of eating before you can enjoy the delicacies here. Although the Union Restaurant looks very small from the outside, it is actually very large inside. Kunliu led the two of them through the long corridor and came to the room reserved by Shilin Temple. What caught Li Ziming's eyes were the two teaching masters of Shilin Temple and the main master, Master Zhen Zhen. Seeing this, the acting teacher Fan Chiu took the initiative to step forward and introduce everyone present to him. This is the acting teacher of Shilin Temple, Gu Peng. I heard that a genius came to our Shilin Temple. Now I finally see his true face. Gu Peng stood up and greeted him. Hearing this, Li Ziming naturally didn't dare to flatter. No, I'm just an ordinary food hunter. Another tall man followed. This is the teacher of Shilin Temple, He Chuan. Welcome to Shilin Temple. We look forward to your future performance. He Chuan said with a little excitement. When Li Ziming heard this, he said with a serious expression, I have already regarded Shilin Temple as my second home. Hearing this, He Chuan nodded with satisfaction. Hurry up and take your seats, Xiao Zizi and Xiao Xiaoxiu, it's time to eat. Master Zhen Zhen said at this moment. Okay Master, we are Li Ziming and Xiu. Li Ziming was almost used to calling Master Zhen 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 by the wrong name, but he had no choice because that was just the way the master was. Li Ziming and acting teacher Fan Xiu took their seats, and the welcome party officially began. Although there were few people, they were all senior executives of Shilin Temple and would be colleagues in the future. It was a good opportunity to build relationships. But who is he? There will be many opportunities to keep in touch in the future. It's so hard to come to Union Restaurant, and the most important thing now is to eat. Xiao Xiao Shui, serve the dishes. Following the order from Master Zhen Zhen, Chef Qun Liu and waiter Qun Lun also began to serve the dishes. Soon, Chef Qun Liu brought everyone an appetizer, kelp wine made from kelp stone juice. As if seeing Li Ziming's excitement, the acting chef Fan Chiu said to him, kelp wine is a super cooking ingredient. The chef needs to start with a water temperature of 3 degrees Celsius, raise the water temperature by 1 degree every hour, and then soak the kelp stone in the water at a speed of 1 mm per hour to make the wine. And the way to drink it is also very particular. You need to pick it up at a steady speed to drink it, otherwise the kelp wine will evaporate instantly. But for you who have mastered the meaning of food, it should be very simple. Hearing this, Li Ziming calmed down immediately. This was a wine that even Toriko and Komatsu had never tasted, so it had to be treated with caution. I'm grateful for all the ingredients in the world, and I'm going to drink. After seeing this scene, the teachers around him all had a better impression of him. Li Ziming controlled his strength, picked up a glass of kelp wine, and brought it to the corner of his mouth at a steady speed. With the bonus of Shi Yi, he drank the appetizer easily. The moment it took a sip, it tasted rich and sweet. It instantly felt like the sea was sweeping over my body, awakening the hungry cells in my body. The alcohol concentration was not very high, so it was very suitable as an aperitif. After drinking it, Li Ziming instantly felt his appetite open up. The appetizer was so delicious that Li Ziming was even more looking forward to the dishes that would follow. The two teaching representatives were very shocked to see that Li Ziming had mastered the etiquette of food after only one day in the temple. He was indeed an extraordinary food hunter specially recruited by Master Zhen Zhen. Soon, it was time for the next dish. Chef Qun Liu brought a new dish, the million tomatoes. As the most special vegetable, the chef had to cut through 1,000 layers of the skin one by one before the million tomatoes would reveal their true appearance. Moreover, eating it is very particular. You have to use the minimum amount of force to pick it up, not more or less, otherwise it will burst under the force and become a puddle of mud that is inedible. Seeing this, Li Ziming picked up the million tomatoes with minimal effort and put them into his mouth at a constant speed. The moment it entered his mouth, the million tomatoes burst instantly, and a rich tomato flavor filled his mouth. It was more like drinking tomatoes than eating tomatoes, with a sweet and delicious taste. It felt not like one tomato, but the concentrated flavor of millions of tomatoes. I guess people who don't like tomatoes will fall in love with million tomatoes. After eating the million tomatoes, Qun Liu and Qun Lun brought the next ingredient, the glittering star rice that attracted everyone's attention. From the moment it was served, everyone's eyes were fixed on each other, not caring at all about its flash bomb-like light. Fortunately, Li Ziming could accept it. Star rice is a super special cooking ingredient. The chef must wash and cook each grain one by one. A full bowl of it looks like falling stars. The eating procedure is also very strict. You must stare at it closely, otherwise the sensitive star rice will lose its starlight in the blink of an eye and turn into charcoal black and become inedible. Li Ziming picked up the star rice directly, stared at it with chopsticks and started to eat. The moment he took a bite, he was stunned. Unlike the egg rice he had eaten before, the star rice tasted unusually sweet, as if he was not eating grains but a very delicious dessert, but not as greasy as desserts. It was also his fault that he was not well educated and could not describe the specific taste. He could only stir hard and finished the star rice in a short time. Afterwards, Chef Kyun Liu and waiter Kyun Lun brought over countless special dishes one after another. Each of them was a dish that Li Ziming had never seen or heard of before. With the introduction of each one by the acting chef Fan Chiu, he, who had mastered the etiquette of food, ate these dishes easily. When Li Ziming finished eating the last dish, the welcome party came to a successful conclusion. The teachers standing by were stunned. Is he still a human being? He has cultivated his etiquette of eating to this level after a day's effort. Achieved silver achievement, perfect gourmet. Achievement reward, 100 points. Seeing this achievement, Li Ziming immediately understood that this was a reward for himself for eating all the delicious food. He was very happy to see that his points had increased again. After eating and drinking, everyone walked out of the Union restaurant one after another, preparing to return to Shilin Temple to rest. Unexpectedly, at this time, Master Zhen said something. Speak up, Circle, isn't Grandma Cho back yet? I'm very sorry that no news has come back from her. Really? If she comes back, remember to notify me immediately. I haven't eaten her cooking for a long time. Looking at the slightly sad Master Zhen, Li Ziming was very sad. If the master knew that Grandma Cho had joined the Bishokyokai, he would definitely be very sad, and he had no choice but to improve his strength as soon as possible to avoid future tragedies. But then he became happy, because after eating so many delicious foods and practicing the ethics of eating, Li Ziming's fighting power has increased several times. Host, Li Ziming, Takai, gender, male age, 20 years old bloodline, lower Saiyan bloodline plus combat power, 1500 points, 1365 number of times you can cross, 0 skills, air dance, Qigong wave, giant ape transformation, high-speed flight. Backpack, 10 cubic meters roasted whole pig, sweet whole fruit. At this moment, his combat power has reached the level of an ordinary adult Saiyan. Although his combat power is limited, he is definitely stronger than an ordinary Saiyan in a fight. After all, Li Ziming has already learned the meaning of eating. If converted into the capture level, he can probably capture food within level 30 or 40 at the moment. However, if he transforms into a giant ape, he might be able to directly defeat the 4 beasts. However, he needs the moon to appear, and he will lose consciousness. He does not want to transform again before his bloodline evolves. Moreover, after eating so many delicious foods, Li Ziming felt that the Saiyan blood in his body was constantly transforming, and the number of S cells in his body became more and more. It felt that it would not be long before his blood would be upgraded without any points. Not long after, they returned to Shilin Temple and went back to their rooms to sleep, without saying a word all night. The next morning, without much explanation from the acting teacher Fan Chiu, Li Ziming had already arrived at the temple and started his daily practice of food meditation. However, the number of his heart-peaking pen grass had increased from 30 to 40 or 50. As the food meditation progressed, Li Ziming was surprised to find that while he was thanking all things, the Saiyan blood in his body seemed to be being tamed by him. From gradually becoming more furious and brutal, it seemed to be moving towards the direction of stability and justice in the 6th universe. It was quite a feeling of training the mind. The reason why he became like this might be that he had an ordinary heart in his previous life. After integrating the Saiyan blood, he became similar to Son Gohan, except that he is a mixed-race Saiyan, while he is the ultimate fusion monster. Of course, the world's delicacies also play a role in this, strengthening the foodie attribute of the Saiyan bloodline, thereby reducing the brutality and cruelty in the Saiyan bloodline. After the food meditation, Li Ziming could obviously hold on for a longer time, but he couldn't skip breakfast. Compared with practicing, he was more willing to eat. In the world of food, delicious food is in front of him, and everything else, you guys get out of here. Today's breakfast is whitefish noodles. Whitefish summon, fish catch level 1. With the help of Shi Yi, even though the whitefish noodles were very smooth and the chopsticks that the acting teacher Fan Chiu gave him were very slippery, Li Ziming could always accurately catch several of them and put them into the bowl. After a short while, he successfully picked up a large bowl. Of course, noodles alone are not enough, some ham roses are also needed. After asking the acting teacher Fan Chiu for a few ham rose seeds and putting them in the flower pot for cultivation, Li Ziming began to express his gratitude. In just a few seconds, the ham rose sprouted and grew into fresh and juicy ham, which was just right for Xiu to make white fish and ham noodles. When the acting teacher saw Li Ziming's operation, he felt helpless. This was a genius. He could make the ham roes grow so quickly in just 2 days, while it took him several months. He felt like 1,000 alpacas were galloping in his heart, and he almost couldn't keep his appetite. Afterwards, Li Ziming tasted the white fish vegetarian noodles with ham prepared by acting chef Fan Qiu and was very satisfied with the meal. He even gave him a thumbs up to praise his cooking skills. 5 Ants. Xiu. Chapter 10. After eating and drinking, it is time to practice the etiquette of food. This time it is nothing else but food meditation combined with a gesture of gratitude. However, this time, when thanking the cactus, Li Ziming had an extra delicacy on his head to practice the meaning of food, and that was camel pudding. This kind of food is collected from the hump of the pudding camel. Once the camel gets angry or frightened, the pudding on the hump will collapse and the taste will deteriorate. Therefore, it is very suitable for the practice of food ethics and is a very refined ingredient. However, for Li Ziming, all the current practices are acceptable. Not only can he practice, but he can also practice delicious food. Why not do it? On the other side, Master Zhen Zhen stood above the hall, looking at the place where Li Ziming was practicing, and after thinking for a moment, he made a phone call. Tick tick tick. Moshi moshi, it's Lonji, I'm Zhenzhensen. Haha, haha, Zhenzhensen, I haven't heard your voice for a long time, how are you doing lately? Not bad, not bad. I have a new acting teacher here. He is also a gourmet hunter. His ability is not bad, but he lacks experience. So, I want him to go to your place and find someone to take him to train with him. Oh, the acting teacher you can recommend must be very capable. I will ask them and see if any of them are free to pass on their experience as a gourmet hunter. Master Zhen Zhen naturally knew who Yulong was talking about, but then he continued to ask him, is there any news about Grandma Chou recently? No, there is still no news about Chou. This shouldn't be the case. She can't leave quietly, unless someone is deliberately causing trouble. Could it be that the ingredient is really going to see the light of day again? There are some signs. It may not be long before those people in the dark are ready to make a move. After Master Zhen Zhen finished talking with Yulong, he looked at Li Ziming not far away and felt helpless, as he didn't have much time left in this world. The time of practice passed quickly. Before long, Li Ziming had been in Qilin Temple for a week. During this period, he ate and drank as usual, practiced the etiquette of food seriously, and his gesture of gratitude was perfect, which made the acting teacher very impressed. In addition, during this period, he also overcame the weakness of his tail and quickly became desensitized. Although he collapsed to the ground in exhaustion the first time, after several exercises and the addition of delicious food, Li Ziming's tail was no longer a weakness, but instead became a means of attack. Moreover, the time he spent meditating on food was constantly increasing, and he could even easily meditate on food for more than 10 hours. He had already thoroughly mastered the meaning of food, but the acting teacher wanted to make his foundation more solid, so he extended the time for a few days. Finally, with the announcement of the acting master, Li Ziming's training was officially over, and he could officially join Qilin Temple and become a new acting master. In the main hall, under the watchful eyes of all the disciples, acting teachers, and teachers of Qilin Temple, Master Zhen Zhen held an initiation ceremony for Li Ziming. Li Ziming also successfully put on the red clothes of Qilin Temple, on which there were only 2 big words, Shi. This is our new acting teacher at Qilin Temple, Li Ziming. Give us a warm welcome. Greetings, the acting teacher. Upon seeing this, all the disciples immediately bowed to welcome him. Upon seeing this, Li Ziming immediately returned the greeting, clasped his hands together, bowed in gratitude, and thanked everyone for the warm welcome. After the ceremony, everyone started a banquet with laughter and joy to celebrate the joining of the new acting normal teacher. To celebrate his joining, Qilin Temple even specially prepared a puffer whale. Puffer whale, fish milk capture level 29. When Li Ziming saw the puffer whale appear, he was stunned. He didn't expect that Qilin Temple actually had this kind of food. Could it be that it was preserved from the past, or was it specially caught from the deep sea to celebrate his joining? Although this puzzled him, with delicious food in front of him, he just ate it. The acting teacher Fan Qiu took the knife and easily dissected out the poison sac, but the puffer whale did not change at all. Li Ziming knew that it was just that the puffer whale did not react. This was the knife skill after Shi Yi had mastered it. After cutting off the fins of the puffer whale, Master Gu Peng at the side began to smoke and roast them, apparently to make fin wine, while the acting Master Xiu began to cut the puffer whale into pieces to make sashimi. In a matter of seconds, a plate of evenly sized, crystal clear puffer whale sashimi appeared in everyone's sight, and exclamations of surprise came from people around. Zhen Normal School jumped over directly, took a piece of fish fin wine with chopsticks and started to taste it. At this time, the fish fin wine was also cooked. He took a bite of meat and a sip of wine, feeling so happy. Li Ziming was so excited that he simply followed the master's footsteps, stepped forward, picked up a piece of food with chopsticks and began to taste the delicacy that he could only taste once in 10 years. The moment the fish enters the mouth, a sweet taste of the fish bursts out from the mouth. With every bite, it feels like the puffer whale comes alive and jumps in the mouth. It is very chewy, and feels like eating pig skin. The more you chew, the sweeter and more delicious it tastes, making you unable to stop. Li Ziming felt his jaw sore from chewing so much that he swallowed the fish reluctantly. But at the moment the fish entered his stomach, an electric current stimulated his body and his muscles gradually swelled up, as if every cell was receiving an electric shock massage. He guessed this was the wonderful benefit of eating puffer whale, which had the effect of strengthening the body. After eating the fish, drink a cup of hot fish fin wine. Instantly a line of fire flows down the throat. It is obvious that the alcohol content is very high. Of course, the most important thing is the taste. It not only has the sweetness of puffer whale itself, but also blends with the aroma of strong liquor. The two are blended together, the fragrance is superimposed layer by layer, and penetrates into the cells of the whole body. People want to drink another glass after drinking it. No wonder in the original book, the acupuncture master Jiro also came to capture some. This fish fin wine is really too intoxicating. Putting down glass, Li Ziming clearly felt the changes in his body after enjoying the many delicious foods at the farewell party. After training his Saiyan bloodline over the past few days and eating so many delicious foods, not only did his S cells increase, but his bloodline also increased to the strength of a top warrior. Achievement obtained, Bloodline Upgrade I. Achievement Reward, 10 points. After taking a look at the system panel, as expected, not only had the Saiyan bloodline been upgraded, but its combat effectiveness had also doubled, and even new skills had been added, directly saving tens of thousands of points. Host, Li Ziming, Takai, Gender, Male Age, 20 years old bloodline, Saiyan Superior bloodline plus combat power, 3000 points, 1375 number of times you can cross, 0 skills, Air Dance, Qigong Wave, Giant Ape Transformation, High Speed Flight, Chi Sensing, Tail Attack. Backpack, 10 cubic meters roasted whole pig, sweet whole fruit, high speed flight, flying at an extremely high speed, aerosol will form around it. Chi Sensing, can sense the chi in the enemy's body within a certain range and feel the opponent's strength. Tail Strike, after training, the tail is no longer a Scion's weakness, and it can also be used to whip the enemy. The combat power doubled to 3000. While the strength increased significantly, he could also briefly control his consciousness after transforming into a Scion giant ape. After transforming into a giant ape, the combat power directly reached about 30,000. Converted into the capture level, it is about level 300. He is directly invincible in the human world. If the 4 beasts come, he will be eaten in one bite. In addition, Chi Perception and Tail Attack have been newly added, which can be regarded as the effect of so many days of training. Not only can I judge the strength of the opponent based on the amount of Chi in the body, but I can also find food near me. Although I have a systematic detection system, it is better than nothing. There is no need to say much about the tail strike. After so many days of training, with the increase of S cells, the tail has become much thicker. If Li Ziming strikes with his tail, it can even penetrate a hard rock, but it still needs training. As the banquet was coming to an end, all the acting teachers and teacher representatives were preparing to return to their rooms to rest, but just as Li Ziming was about to leave, he was stopped by Zhen town teacher, who then took him to the front of the hall, in front of the fake soap bubble fruit. Xiao Yuiyu, you have now learned the meaning of eating, but I have not yet taught you the ultimate meaning of eating, eating up. Hearing this, Li Ziming was very excited. Could it be that the teacher was finally going to pass on the ultimate secret to him? But the next second, the teacher's words made him fall to the bottom. I am not going to teach you how to eat now, because I feel that your strength is very good, but you have too little experience and food. You may fail at the last moment. This is the reason. Hearing this, Li Ziming understood. He had only been in the food world for more than a week. After traveling to this world, he had only been to Hangar Ryla Island and Shilin Temple. Compared with Toriko's more than 10 years of food career, he really had too little experience. It's no wonder that Zhen Normal School would say that. Maybe he would really fail at the last step. After a bitter smile, Li Ziming asked the master what to do. You need to go out and gain some experience. For this, I have contacted the president of Igo, Long San, for you. He has found a free food hunter who will take you to see everything in this world. You will temporarily form a partnership and eat more food. This is also a kind of food ethics training. Long San, not Long Yi, oh no, not Yi Long, teacher. It doesn't matter. When you feel that you can learn the meaning of eating after my hellish teaching, return to Shilin Temple. I will teach you all the meanings of eating and take you to catch the treasure ingredient of our Shilin Temple, the soap bubble fruit. Hearing this, Li Ziming felt relieved. He knew that learning shime was not that easy. Now the plan to capture the soap bubble fruit could only be put off until someday in the future. However, he then became curious about who President Yulong would arrange to lead him. Is he one of the 4 heavenly kings of Gourmet or a member of Zone 0? Curious, he asked Master Zhen, hoping to get an exact name from him. Teacher, who is that idle gourmet hunter? Do you know his name? As soon as he asked this question, Li Ziming slapped himself. Master Zhen couldn't remember other people's names and he forgot them, but the next second. As for the name, I remember it. It seemed to be called Toriko or something. Chapter 11. The first ray of sunlight in the morning shone on the windowsill, and Li Ziming woke up from his room. Today was the day to go out for experience. After chatting with Master Zhen yesterday, I learned that the person who would bring me was Toriko, one of the 4 heavenly kings of gourmet food. Although the master said the name was wrong, Toriko is the transliteration of the name. Li Ziming was excited to think that he would soon meet this hot man, because he is the protagonist. He packed up briefly, but there was nothing much to pack. He had just become an acting teacher and was about to leave to gain experience. Li Ziming was still a little reluctant to leave. In just 7 or 8 days, he had already regarded this place as his second home, the first one that exploded. He changed into casual clothes, put away the red robe of the acting teacher and put it into the system space. This was a symbol of his identity and he could not be careless. At this time, the acting teacher Fan Xiu came over. After spending these days together, the two had become good brothers. It was unknown how long Li Ziming would be gone. Xiu felt sad just thinking about losing a colleague. We've packed up now. We won't stay a few more days before leaving. Xiu said reluctantly. Li Ziming shrugged helplessly after hearing this, I can't help it. I still lack experience. Otherwise, I can comprehend the ultimate meaning of food, eat and lose. Epsilon equals Omicron asterisk, oh, okay. Here, this is your gourmet ID and gourmet bank card. The master asked me to get it for you. Take it. Seeing these 2 things, Li Ziming immediately became excited. With the food ID, he was no longer an illegal resident. With the food bank card, he could also sell the captured prey for money. He was indeed a master and his thoughts were very thoughtful. After putting the things into the system space, it was time to say goodbye. Soon they arrived at the gate of Shilin Temple, and there were already several people waiting here, including the Zhen Town Normal School, 2 normal school representatives, and several unfamiliar acting normal schools. Everyone knew that Li Ziming was going to practice, and they all came to see him off. Li Ziming was very excited to see everyone arriving, but looking at the positions of the people around him, although he was just going there for some experience, he felt like he was leaving Shilin Temple. Don't be nervous, kid. Just exercise more and eat more delicious food. Remember to be grateful. Okay, Master Qiupeng, I'll remember it. Be careful when you're out there. It's not just the food that's dangerous, it's all kinds of people as well. Thank you, Teacher He Chuan. Eat out more often. If you eat something delicious, remember to remember us and bring back some special ingredients. I know, Xiu, how can I forget you? I will come back and bring you a lot of delicious food. After saying goodbye to the people around him one by one, Li Ziming felt very reluctant to leave. Looking at the people standing at the gate of Shilin Temple and this moody Shilin Temple, Li Ziming simply clasped his hands together and offered a salute. When everyone saw this, they also put their hands together and returned the greeting, and then flew up with Zhenzhen Town Normal School under their shocked gazes. All the teachers, you never said you can fly. Soon, Li Ziming and Master Zhenzhen flew out of the lost forest where the Shilin Temple was located. Although there were many ferocious beasts here, perhaps because they were flying with Master Zhenzhen, no ungrateful food came out to stop them. Ziyu, it seems like you can fly pretty fast, so what about this? Teacher, what are you doing? Ouch! Seeing the Zhenzhen Town Normal School accelerating, Li Ziming exploded directly, wrapped himself up, flew at high speed, and quickly chased in the direction of the normal school. As his speed increased, the surrounding woods began to gradually disappear, and he soon caught up with Zhenzhen Normal School. When he realized that Li Ziming was catching up with him, he immediately accelerated and flew away. Seeing this, Li Ziming accelerated again and flew over. Soon, the surrounding scenery was gradually replaced by villages, and then by high-rise buildings, and Zhenzhen Town Normal School also stopped at the edge of the city. Seeing this, Li Ziming flew down immediately. Teacher, are we there yet? Why don't I see that person? Zhulong told me last time that Yaku is in the market ahead. You go there by yourself. I'm going to have dinner with Long Long. Sigma, a normal school. Under Li Ziming's surprised gaze, Master Zhenzhen flew away and disappeared in an instant after he finished speaking, leaving him confused. What could he do? He was helpless, but he had to go through some experience. He sighed and could only walk towards the city. The long-missed skyscrapers, the long-missed bright lights and nightlife, the long-missed hustle and bustle of traffic, I miss them so much after not seeing them for a long time. But if it weren't for the numerous restaurants around, the various signs and delicacies, and the plane carrying huge amounts of food, he would really have thought he had returned to his original world. Thinking about the market that Shifan just mentioned, Li Ziming suddenly thought of the central wholesale market for food in the original book. If Toriko often goes there, there is a 99% chance that he will be seen there. Recalling the description of the central wholesale food market, food ingredients from all over the world may appear in this place. The total area is 3,000 hectares, which is about the size of 3,000 football fields. The food transactions coming and going every day are estimated to be 700,000 to 800,000 tons, but not more than 1 million tons. The daily food transactions are worth tens or hundreds of trillions of food coins. Therefore, it is called the world kitchen by people in this world. Li Ziming got excited just thinking about how many delicious foods there must be in here. He ran directly in the direction where the helicopter had flown before. As for not flying there, it was only because he was afraid of causing panic. Not long after, he arrived at the central food wholesale market. It was bustling with food hunters selling prey and food, but most of them were capture level 1 or lower. There were also various hawking sounds and the sound of food auctions all around. There were not only giant silver king crabs, but also giant earth snakes and turtles, and even a rabbit full of fangs. People rushed to bid, but Li Ziming looked at these ingredients and felt like he had seen them somewhere before. Achieve Silver Achievement, the world's largest food wholesale market. Achievement Reward, 100 points. Walking out of the places where these wholesalers are auctioning, what comes into view are various small vendors selling various meat, vegetable, and fruit ingredients. They are nothing more than some ordinary foods, such as natural white apples, rice bowls with coconut milk, and branches covered with crab meat. In addition, there is a food area where countless people come, order a beer, and call a few friends just to eat the freshest ingredients. As Li Ziming was browsing the food central wholesale market, a conversation not far away caught his attention. Excuse me, do you know where Toriko is? Toriko, you mean the gourmet hunter Toriko. Chapter 12. Looking at the two people talking in a stall not far away, Li Ziming felt that they looked strangely familiar. They had bowl cuts, backpacks, and were either Komatsu or Baker, SKR. Achievements achieved, Komatsu or Baker. Achievement reward, 10 points. Soon he realized why it looked so familiar to him. Isn't this the first theatrical version of Gourmet Hunter, Adventures of a Gourmet, or the prequel to Capture the Food? It was rarely searchable on the internet in the past, but was refreshed by the subsequent theatrical versions. The only result found was the commentator number, and the commentator was not this, but Superfood Treasure of the Gourmet God. Only true die-hard fans have watched this theatrical version. After learning the plot, he looked at the man who looked like Komatsu not far away and knew clearly that Toriko was probably out to catch food. Sure enough, the next second, As for Toriko, the last time I saw her was 2 years ago. She brought a huge rabbit with her. But he's a superstar among the elite gourmet hunters. It's not easy to see him. Of course I know. He discovered 2% of the 300,000 ingredients in the world. So Toriko is a true gourmet. That's why I want to meet Mr. Toriko. I have a reason to meet him. Baker, who had just finished speaking passionately, fell into disappointment. However, the shopkeeper gave him another message, which was like a sweet treat for him. It was the first time he met someone who liked Toriko so much. If you had come a few days earlier, maybe you could have met him. I don't know why, but Toriko has been coming to the Gourmet Central Market to sell ingredients recently, as if she was waiting for someone. But she hasn't come back recently. Hearing this, Baker collapsed again. His mood went up and down like a roller coaster. His hopes were shattered again. What should he do with his hometown? But at this moment, a figure appeared in front of him. As for Toriko, I know where he is. He and I are bickering buddies. Really? Of course I am. I'm Tom, a food wholesaler. Leave it to me. I will definitely let you meet him. Achievement, the most special food wholesaler. Achievement reward, 10 points. Hearing this, Ziming walked up to Tom and said, "Add me, I want to find Toriko too." "Who are you?" "I am Ziming, the acting teacher of Shilin Temple. The person Toriko is waiting for is me. I am here to learn from him." "Oh, the one from Shilin Temple that Toriko mentioned. I'm Tom. Please come this way. I'll take you to find Toriko and the one next to him. Let's go." Baker was surprised at first. He didn't expect that he actually met such kind people. He immediately followed the two people. Soon after, led by Tom, they arrived at the port, boarded Tom's yacht, and headed towards the distant ocean. "Tom, where did Toriko go to catch ingredients?" "Toriko came here these few days, ate delicious food for a few days, and then went to catch ingredients to sell. Recently, he accepted my commission and caught ingredients on the other side of the continent." Soon, with Tom's skills as a shrimp catcher, they began to drift on the sea at a speed of over 100 miles per hour, and soon arrived at the other side of the land. After dropping them off, Tom prepared to go back to buy food, and left a word before leaving. "Acting teacher Ziming, Toriko is here. Please help me tell him to catch the chocolate mushroom as soon as possible. I have an urgent client here. Just call me Ziming. I'll tell him. See you later." "Okay Ziming, see you next time. If you want to sell any ingredients, you can come to me. I'll give you a high price." Tom quickly watched the yacht leave, leaving behind the eager Ziming and the confused Baker. "Mr. Ziming, are we just being abandoned like this?" "What do you mean by abandoning? We are here to look for Toriko, why don't we look for her?" "The one you're looking for is definitely me." Baker's face was full of fear. Seeing this, Ziming immediately reassured him, "Don't be afraid, I'm also a food hunter, you have nothing to be afraid of with me protecting you, let's go." Watching Ziming striding forward, Baker thought for a moment, then made up his mind and immediately followed him since he was already here. Because it was at the seaside, there were a lot of rocks washed by the sea water. Ziming was jumping up and down in the front, and Baker was following very hard behind. Just when he was about to catch up, a red pig suddenly appeared from the side and started chasing Baker, which scared him so much that his adrenal pixels went crazy. He screamed and ran towards Ziming quickly. "Mr. Ziming, help!" Seeing this, Ziming understood Baker's luck with food. He is worthy of being the second male lead in the movie. Although his strength is not strong, his luck with food is pretty good. Unfortunately, this is a world of gourmet food, so his luck with food needs to be improved. Looking at the red wild boar attacking him, he also saw the news about the other party. It was a pig again, and it felt like he could eat a whole roasted pig again. "Red pig, mammalian meat capture level 1. Good job." Ziming stood still like a mountain, waiting for the red-haired pig to rush to him. He punched the pig directly on the head, and the red-haired pig died. There was nothing he could do about his strength. But what he didn't expect was that in the original book, only one red-haired pig appeared. Unexpectedly, after he took action, 4 more rushed over from behind. Ziming was very happy. It seemed that his food luck was far better than Baker's. This was interesting. Dealing with a few little pigs is as easy as stretching out your hand. He just rushed over and punched the pigs on the head with his little fists, easily taking the pentakill. Baker on the side was completely stunned. Kill 5 red-haired pigs, points +5. Just when Li Ziming was attacking the red pig, a blue pig not far away heard the cry for help and quickly ran towards the sound. He saw Li Ziming getting a pentakill. Now it was his turn to be confused. How could his brave act be wasted? Li Ziming also discovered Toriko's existence, and his body exuded a strong aura, but he knew that Toriko was not that simple. After all, he had been a gourmet hunter for more than 10 years. Friends over there, aren't you going to come out and say hello? Baker turned around and recognized the man at a glance. He was the target of their trip, the gourmet hunter Toriko. Obtained gold achievement, first encounter with the Son of the World achievement reward, 1000 points. Hello, I'm the gourmet hunter Toriko. Don't worry, I won't steal your prey. It's Mr. Toriko, we're here to see you. Ha, who are you to come here specifically to see me? Without answering in a hurry, Li Ziming looked at the newly acquired gold achievement and thought to himself that as expected of the protagonist, he would be given a lot of points. However, an idea also came to his mind: if he beat up Toriko, would he be given more points? As expected, the system just released a new task. Limited time mission, beat up Toriko, the child of the world. Reward, 1000 points. Upon seeing this, Li Ziming could no longer suppress the fighting desire in his Saiyan blood, and in the surprised eyes of the two, he rushed directly to Toriko, ready to test his strength as one of the 4 heavenly kings of gourmet hunters. Chapter 13. Hey, number O, what are you doing? I've already said that I'm not the type to snatch prey. Toriko looked at the man punching him, confused, and tried to block Li Ziming's punches and kicks, but the force of the punch was too strong and he was knocked onto the rock behind him. Okay, calm down. If you hit me again, I'll be really angry. Toriko, fight me and I'll give you red-haired pig. You know me, and that kid just now also said that you guys are here to see me. Who are you anyway? At this time, Toriko also saw the tail around Li Ziming's waist and instantly understood his identity. You are the gourmet hunter that Dad asked me to lead. You are already so strong, do you still need me to lead you? I am only strong, but I have too little experience and have not eaten much delicious food. Let me see your true strength, Toriko. I'll treat you to a delicious meal after the fight. Without waiting for Toriko's consent, Li Ziming rushed forward again and delivered another iron fist of love. Toriko was not to be outdone and activated 3 consecutive nail punches, choosing to collide with Li Ziming. The next second, Toriko was hammered onto the stone again, while Li Ziming was still there. This shows that Toriko's current strength is estimated to be around capture level 10. He has not yet eaten some rare ingredients and has not grown up quickly. However, the after effect of the nail punch soon appeared, and the remaining 2 nail punches quickly impacted Li Ziming's body. It must be said that this move was very different and was very similar to the hidden power in ancient martial arts. Toriko appeared again at this moment, and was very surprised when he saw Li Ziming, who was unharmed. Is this the strength of the acting teacher of Shilin Temple? Very good move, Toriko, let me see if this is how you use it. At this moment, Li Ziming also realized the power of the nail fist, and was ready to try to replicate it, but he couldn't be too serious. After all, he was already very powerful after learning the food of righteousness. It would be troublesome if an infinite nail fist came and beat Toriko into a hornet's nest. Li Ziming imitated Toriko's previous posture and began to charge up his punches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times in a row. Almost 5 punches were enough. Toriko, thank you for your 3 consecutive spike punches. Now it's my turn. Try my spike punch. Nanny. Before Toriko could react, Li Ziming came in front of Toriko again and punched him directly in the stomach. The first punch made him drool. Then the second, third, fourth, and fifth consecutive punches activated the momentum and instantly knocked Toriko into the air, and then flew towards the forest not far away. Li Ziming also felt that it was enough. If he continued to fight, Toriko might really be killed, so he decided to stop. Complete the limited time mission and defeat Toriko, the child of the world. Task reward, 1000 points. Seeing the points arrived, Li Ziming prepared to go over to see how Toriko was doing. Unexpectedly, he saw a series of mushrooms where Toriko fell. Toriko's food luck is pretty good. He can get food in this way. No, it seems to be my food luck. Chocolate mushroom, mushroom capture level 8. Aren't these the chocolate mushrooms that Tom wanted? I can just pick some and complete the commission for Toriko. After picking the fruits, Ziming looked at Toriko, who was knocked unconscious. He was gradually waking up now, and he went up to him and said something. Toriko, how does it feel to be hit by your own spike fist? UBD. I won't accept it and I'll fight you again. Forget it, forget it. I'm afraid I'll beat you to death, so I'll give you something delicious to eat. If you treat me to delicious food again, I will beat you up. Oh my god, this is sweet whole fruit, where did you get it from, brother? Toriko was originally angry, but the moment she saw the sweet whole fruit, her anger instantly subsided. In front of delicious food, dignity is nothing, especially the rarest fruit. Why, you're not angry anymore. Don't be angry anymore, give it to me, brother. This is the sweet whole fruit that only exists in ancient books. Where did you get it from? Seeing Toriko carefully tasting the sweet whole fruit with a happy look on her face, Ziming casually said, where else can it be? On Hangulila Island. Nani? It's the legendary Hangurila Island. Have you ever caught the Hangurila bird, the dream food? We caught it and ate it. Nani, is this true? Seeing that Toriko didn't believe him, Ziming took out the steel feather of the Hangulila bird, and Toriko finally believed him. In a few months, when the sweet fruits start to grow, I'll take you for a tour. Really? You're so nice, bro. Excited Toriko ate the sweet fruit, and his injuries gradually recovered. He even felt that his energy became stronger. Ziming exclaimed, wow, who is the Saiyan bloodline? Now that you are so strong, do you still need me to lead you? No need. Of course I can use it. I have seen very little and I am still unable to comprehend the true meaning of food. That is why I was sent out to gain experience. The true meaning of food. That's right. We'll talk about this later. Let's go back and put away my red pig. Afterwards, the two of them slowly returned to the place they were before. Seeing Toriko eating the sweet whole fruit happily, Ziming also took a piece and ate while walking. Baker was still standing there in a daze, as if he had not recovered from what had just happened. Seeing the two of them coming back while eating, my overloaded brain suddenly stopped working. How come they came back straight away after fighting just now? I couldn't understand it. I really couldn't understand it. I just stood up and fell directly to the ground. Young people just like to fall asleep as soon as they lie down. What happened to him? Why did he fall asleep straight away? Let me see, my goodness, he is so hungry. It's okay, just add some sweet whole fruit juice. Baker's mind was blank at this moment. He suddenly felt a very sweet taste. He woke up all of a sudden. Seeing the two people living peacefully next to him, he immediately started to stop them. Mr. Ziming, Mr. Toriko, stop it, don't fight anymore. Seeing such a silly Baker, the two looked at each other and started laughing. Don't worry, we won't fight anymore. We know each other, even though this is the first time we meet. Yeah, no more fighting, are you okay? Just don't fight, just don't fight. Just now I said there was a very sweet smell, it felt like I had eaten countless kinds of fruits, what on earth is going on? This is it, sweet whole fruit, here you go. When Baker saw it and smelled the sweet aroma, he thanked Ziming and started eating immediately. Unexpectedly, while eating, he started laughing and crying at the same time. Oh my god, this is so delicious. Chapter 14. Seeing the happy Baker eating the bread, Ziming felt very relieved. It turns out that delicious food is only delicious when it is shared. Then he looked at the 5 red-haired pigs he had hammered to death. They were still there. Not bad, not bad. Next he should taste them. Why? He was just about to put away the 5 Peppa pigs, but after putting away 2 of them, the system prompted that there was not enough space. I took a look at what was in the system backpack. There was a roasted whole pig, some sweet whole fruits, chocolate mushrooms, a food ID and a food bank card, as well as a food service uniform. There was really no more space for the 2 red pigs I had just put away. The captured red pigs were quite large, each one was 3 or 4 meters tall. No wonder it couldn't fit in. System Master, what? System Master, can our backpacks be upgraded? You can upgrade. Below are the points required to upgrade the system backpack. Backpack, 10 cubic meters, large backpack, 100 cubic meters, required points, 1000. Large backpack, 100 cubic meters, deluxe backpack, 1000 cubic meters, required points, 10,000. Luxury backpack, 1000 cubic meters, small world, 10,000 cubic meters, required points, 1 million. Li Ziming looked at so many upgrade options. It would be interesting to upgrade directly into a world in the later stage of the relationship. However, he only had one option at the moment, which was to upgrade into a large backpack. He happened to have won against Toriko and obtained 1000 points, which was just enough to upgrade the backpack. Master System, spend 1000 points to upgrade the backpack. Points, 1000 ding. System backpack upgrade completed. Welcome to visit next time. The backpack space instantly became larger. Not only can it hold more food, it is also enough for me to earn more points and upgrade later. There is no other way, because the animals in this world are so huge. The higher the capture level, the bigger their size may become. After putting the other red pigs into the backpack, he left one and threw it to Toriko, asking him to find a place to make a fire and cook, as he wanted to eat a whole roasted pig. Ah, do you know magic? Where did you put the red pig? Children, stay out of adult matters. Go and make your roasted whole pig. Oh. Toriko was very good at making fire. After all, she had been a gourmet hunter for so many years. With Baker, they soon went to a nearby open space, cleaned the red pig, seasoned it simply, and started cooking the whole roasted pig. Fresh ingredients often only require simple cooking methods. After a busy day, Chef Li, looking for Toriko and beating Toriko, can finally eat. Li Ziming was very confused when he saw Toriko smoking a cigar while roasting a whole pig. Where did you get the cigar? I didn't see any just now. No, there's a cigar tree right next to it. Looking in the direction of Toriko's finger, a tree that looked like a dry tree came into view. Li Ziming smelled it and it indeed smelled like a cigar. Cigar tree, plant capture level 1 or below. He simply broke off a branch of the cigar tree, put it in his mouth and lit it with a small air cartridge. Although Li Ziming does not smoke, in this gourmet world, this is a delicacy. However, after taking 2 puffs, he still couldn't stand the smell of smoke. However, the taste is okay, quite refreshing, and he feels that it can be sold at a good price. Under Toriko's surprised gaze, Li Ziming simply pulled out the entire tree, and it disappeared in his hands. No, it's a cigar tree. I put it away and will sell it later. Ah, here. I'll smoke again later. Why are you smoking? There are delicious foods that can't resist your appetite. Toriko was speechless and could only continue roasting the red-haired pig. After a while, the red-haired pig was ready to eat. I'm grateful for all the food in the world. I'm going to eat. X2. So you also know how to pray before meals, Li Ziming. This is also the etiquette of your Shilin temple. Food ethics is not that simple, Toriko, I'll teach you later. The 3 of them then began to feast on the food. Although the capture level was only 1, in the eyes of ordinary people it was top-notch delicacy. As Baker was eating, he started crying. Oh my god, this is so delicious. This is the first time I've eaten such delicious ingredients. Not bad, right? This red-haired pig is a high-end ingredient only sold in star-rated hotels. 1 gram costs 80,000 food coins. It is indeed good. When Li Ziming took a bite, countless gravy gushed out, and the full meat aroma hit his face. The meat was also very good, very tender. It only needed to be roasted a little to stimulate the aroma of the red-haired pig itself. It is worthy of being an ingredient that costs 80,000 yuan per gram. How much do they cost if I sell them? I'm going to sell the other ones to make some money. If I sell it, 100 grams for 8,000. One can still be sold for hundreds of millions. Aren't you the acting teacher of Shilin Temple? How can you be without money? Who told you that acting as a teacher training officer is rich? I just joined and I don't have a penny. I haven't even started work yet, but I was sent out to gain experience. I see. Now, you can experience life, but who is this person? I said I had something important to tell you. I just took a boat to get here. Baker, who felt that he was being watched, raised his head and looked at the 2 people staring at him. Then he realized that he had not introduced himself to Toriko yet and explained the purpose of his visit. But at this time, Baker fell into deep thought. His idol Mr. Toriko couldn't beat Li Ziming. Who should he ask for help? Baker fell into deep thought for a moment. Since both of them were here, he might as well ask for help from both of them. Well, my name is Baker. Mr. Ziming and Mr. Toriko, can you save our village? After saying that, Baker slid down on his knees and continued. The strange bird Gorud has taken over our village, making it impossible for us to live a normal life. Could you please capture them? Knowing the danger, why don't you avoid it? Why don't you just leave? Because our village depends on the mountain for its livelihood, we can't survive if we leave. Moreover, Gorud has eaten up all the food around us, so we can only rely on the remaining food to survive. That's why I came out to seek help. This is the only money our village has. Please help us. Looking at Baker, who was kneeling on the ground crying and begging, the two men fell silent. Although the gourmet hunters were very powerful, they were not in the charity business. It was not a big deal to give such a small amount of money to beggars. However, looking at the slightly desperate Baker, the two men looked at each other and smiled. Okay, I didn't say I won't help you, but the strange bird Gorud is ours, and it has nothing to do with your village anymore. Yes, yes, as long as our village returns to its former glory. Thank you so much. I'm not helping you, I'm helping ourselves. The monster bird Gorud lives in the mountains and rarely appears. Living in that environment, in order to withstand the severe cold, its meat must be very chewy and elastic. Just thinking about it makes me hungry. Hearing Toriko's words, Ziming's stomach couldn't help but growl. As a professional food hunter, he not only eats a lot, but is also knowledgeable. He knows the taste of the ingredients just by listening to the description. Now he is looking forward to it. I'm hungry, so let's go eat the strange bird Gorud. Chapter 15. After the three of them finished the whole red pig, they also prepared to go to Baker's village to taste the taste of the strange bird Gorud. As they walked, Toriko also asked Baker about the exact location of the village. Baker, where is your village? You know Tatang Plains, it's over there. Ziming certainly didn't know, and then he looked at Toriko. From his expression, it was obvious that he knew where the location was. Oh, then let's take a shortcut and cross the enemy's Loge Mountains and we'll be there soon. Looking at the mountains far away, it was obvious that this journey was going to be very interesting. They would probably encounter many ferocious beasts. The food in Ziming's warehouse would probably increase again, so the three of them officially set off. The three of them soon walked into a canyon. It was extremely quiet here, and there was no sound of any wild animals around. Just when Baker was feeling puzzled, Ziming felt a force of air swooping down towards them rapidly from the surrounding cliffs. Toriko, there's a monster coming. When it landed, it turned out to be a flying beast with a bat head and a snake body. Baker panicked and took the illustrated book to compare it, and found that it was actually a bat snake. Bat snake, reptile capture level 3. The three of them watched the bat snake coming down and roared at them. Toriko and Ziming were fine, but Baker was so scared that he turned and ran away. The bat snake seized the opportunity, stuck out its long tongue, and appeared in front of Baker in an instant. At the critical moment, Ziming directly grabbed the snake's tongue and was about to give the opponent an elbow strike. How could such a snake dare to stick out its tongue to attack people? This little snake really didn't take him seriously. Toriko, is this snake delicious? It's not tasty, it's empty, and there's very little meat, but it's still good to make into a specimen. Forget it, this bat snake is too ugly. After saying that, Ziming pinched the other's tongue, then pulled the bat snake hard and started spinning, making a big windmill. After spinning dozens of times, it was thrown directly into the sky and instantly turned into a star. However, Ziming felt that something was missing. After thinking about it, he realized that there was a sentence missing, so he just made it up on the spot. I will definitely come back. Defeat the bat snake and get 3 points. Looking at this scene, the other two were confused, but Ziming didn't care. As long as he was happy, that was enough. By the way, you are short of money, right? How much would that thing sell for if it were made into a specimen? I can't eat them anyway, so I'm too lazy to catch them. Besides, I still have a few red pigs, which are enough for me to spend. I can catch more when I need money later. Hey! After that, the three of them set off again, but Toriko was also curious and asked Baker why his village asked him to come out for help instead of the hunters in the village. It's not because of anything else. I can just run away. Although I'm not very good at hunting, I know some knowledge about wild beasts. That's why I took the initiative to flee the village. I hid and ran for several days before I found the central wholesale market. Hey! Toriko and Ziming looked at each other and understood almost everything. It was no wonder that love was a person who relied on the brain. But it was also true that in this era of gourmet food, force alone was not enough, and corresponding knowledge was needed to deal with emergencies, and Baker was obviously such a person. I heard that Ziming had a liking for his talent. After all, there weren't many smart people among the food hunters. I felt that he could be absorbed into Shilin Temple. It just depended on whether he was willing or not. While Ziming was thinking about it, they walked out of the canyon and came to a forest. As soon as they came in, they found several kinds of food, including whale tongue flour, macaroni grass, and bamboo fruit that looked like roast duck. Whale tongue flour, plant capture level 1 or below. Macaroni grass, plant capture level 1 or below. Bamboo fruit, fruit capture level 1 or below. Seeing this, Ziming took a few and put them into the system space, then took out the bamboo fruit that interested him the most and started eating it. Although it looks like roast duck, it is actually a fruit. It tastes like a faint bamboo leaf flavor, but it is very watery. It feels like drinking bamboo leaf water and is very thirst-quenching. Ziming was eating while Toriko was eating over there. He had a tiger and pig poison mushroom in his left hand and a chocolate mushroom in his right hand. Baker was confused by what he saw. It turned out that the hunters in the gourmet world are locusts, eating whatever they see. By the way, Mr. Toriko, you ate poisonous mushrooms. Ah, I know, but it's okay, I have antibodies, so it's okay to eat anything. You're awesome. Tiger puffer mushroom, mushroom capture level 1 or below. Seeing this scene, Ziming was thoughtful. Although Toriko had antibodies against poisonous mushrooms, he liked to eat poisonous things because he had to find new ingredients. On the other hand, it seemed that his gourmet cells would be activated by the poisonous things he ate. There was a reflection of this in the anime, when he went to the casino to eat poisonous potatoes. There were obviously a lot of poisonous potatoes, but once he ate them, his gourmet cells were activated, and all the other toxins were purified. But looking at the chocolate mushroom in his right hand, Ziming suddenly raised the corner of his mouth. Toriko, does Tom have a commission? Yeah, he asked me to find chocolate mushrooms. Toriko replied while eating. Then what's in your hand? Chocolate, oh gosh, I didn't notice it. Never mind, I'll find some later. Seeing Toriko like this, Ziming also became happy. It turned out that Toriko and Tom were a pair of happy enemies. But it was Tom who suffered. Fortunately, he had found some chocolate mushrooms in his system space before, and he could sell them to Tom later. After collecting food nearby, the three continued on their way. However, not long after they started walking, the sky darkened. There was nothing they could do as the wild beasts came out at night. They could only find a place to rest and head to Baker's village early the next morning. Soon, Toriko found a cave, and the three of them spent the night there. Ziming also took out the only remaining roasted whole pig and placed it in front of the two. This smells so good, this is a roasted whole pig, you are worthy of being able to take it out. Seeing the two people drooling, Ziming suddenly had an idea and made a request before they started eating. You two can eat, but you must listen to my orders. Under the confused gazes of the two men, Ziming took out the heart-seeing pen head grass that he used to practice food zen, and placed it between the two men, one for each. After briefly explaining his role, Toriko and Baker were very puzzled as to why such a big deal had to happen just for a meal. However, Ziming's words directly brought out the highest honor for a man, which made the two of them shut up, and then they became eager to try. You two can hold on for 5 minutes, I think you're awesome. Chapter 16. Who's afraid of who? Just come. As long as you are grateful, it will be fine, right? Soon, the two people, stimulated by Ziming, started the challenge directly. As he lit the heart-seeing pen, the two put their hands together and said the words they often said. I'm grateful for all the food in this world. I'm going to eat. At the beginning, the heart-seeing pen in front of the two people shook for a moment, and then went out with a bang. The two people were dumbfounded in an instant. Why is this so difficult? No, that's all you two are. This is too bad. Ziming ate the roasted whole pig while mocking the two of them, making them blush with anger. It turned out that they were fighting for stuttering and the highest honor for boys, but now Chun Chun just wanted to fight for a bite of steamed bun and save face, so she lit the heart-seeing pen again and immersed herself in food zen. But when they lit it, they lasted less than half a minute before the heart-seeing pen went out again. The two were very upset. Why was it so difficult to maintain it? Seeing how serious they looked, Ziming stopped mocking them and simply told them the secret he had learned at the beginning. Food ethics, at its most basic, is to express gratitude to all the food in the world. It all depends on whether you can concentrate your consciousness. You can just think back to the most memorable food you had and how you felt about it. After hearing what Ziming said, the two fell into deep thought, feeling the same as when they were eating delicious food for the first time. As he lit the heart-seeing pencil again, the two of them put their hands together again and began to meditate on food. This time, they all remembered the delicious food they had truly tasted in their hearts, and Toriko also thought of his father. The feeling he had at that moment when he picked him up and handed him bread was gratitude. From then on, his life changed. Another baker recalled that when his family had no food and his mother was starving, it was the people in the village who brought them the captured prey, which helped their family get through the difficult times. Thinking of this, his heart was filled with gratitude. Ziming looked at the heart-seeing pen grass in front of the two people, which was burning fiercely, and he knew it was safe. He was sure that Toriko could do it, but it was really unexpected that Baker could do it. As time passed, the burning momentum of the heart-seeing pen grass gradually subsided, and the time they spent in meditation exceeded 5 minutes, and the two of them came out of that state. Well, enough time. That's enough, you guys are awesome. Ha 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 ha, time to eat a whole roasted pig. Toriko used his hand knife to cut a large piece of roasted whole pork steak and started eating. At this time, Baker seemed to have made up his mind. Through this food zen, he already knew what his goal was and what kind of person he wanted to be in the future. He came to Toriko and Ziming and asked the two gourmet hunters, Mr. Toriko, Mr. Ziming, please teach me how to become stronger. I want everyone in the village to have a lot of delicious food. Please accept me as your apprentice. Ha! The familiar scene appeared again, this time it was a closer inspection. Ziming was very happy. Although Baker's request was very offensive, after all, Toriko and Ziming were not at that stage to accept apprentices. Moreover, accepting apprentices was a very serious matter, especially in the era of gourmet food, especially for famous people, it was impossible to accept apprentices easily. As for taking me as your disciple, I'm not considering it for now, but haven't I already given you some pointers? Do you think I asked you to eat zen just now to praise you? In fact, this is a kind of practice, especially for the two of you. Toriko touched her whole body and said in disbelief, Nanny. But I don't feel like I've gained any training anywhere. Then Toriko, try charging your nail punch once, and try to charge with a grateful attitude. Hearing Ziming's request, Toriko stood up and tried it, then he found something wrong. Not only were his movements a little faster than before, but he also felt that his concentration was more focused. If it used to take 2 seconds to charge a nail punch, now it takes about 1.5 seconds to charge one. The difference is huge. Beck, I remember you used a slingshot. Try hitting the tree outside. Just like Toriko, try shooting with a grateful attitude. After hearing this, Baker took out his slingshot, tried it, and easily hit the tree outside. He looked at his hands in disbelief, feeling that he had such accuracy. In fact, you two are the same, you both think too much, and the most important thing in practicing food zen is to concentrate your attention, reduce your movements, and do what you are best at to the greatest extent. After saying that, Toriko and Baker were thoughtful, especially Toriko, who felt that his worldview seemed to be overturned, but it was not unacceptable. This is the food ethics that Shilin Temple upholds. It has completely changed my impression of it. So, Toriko, how about partnering up with me temporarily? I'll teach you the virtues of eating, and you'll take me through some good training. Let me think about it, it's not impossible. Father Yulong wants me to accompany you for a few months of training, so let's do this. What about me? What about me? What about me? I can do it. You can't do that for now, Baker, but after this is over, I might write a letter recommending you to go to Shilin Temple for some training, if you're willing. Hearing this, Baker hesitated, and Ziming knew why. He was reluctant to leave his mother alone in the village, and he was reluctant to leave everyone in the village. However, Ziming did not urge him, but just asked him to think carefully about the future. The three of them had a good meal with the ingredients they collected today, including vegetables and meat. Ziming even took out some coconut wine and handed it to Toriko. Excitedly, Toriko gave Li Ziming a big hug on the spot. With wine, meat, and good friends, this kind of life was too good. After the banquet, the three of them slept on the floor. Of course, Li Ziming was still half asleep and half awake, keeping watch to prevent any wild animals from sneaking in at night. No words were spoken that night. The next morning, the three of them got up early, packed up briefly, and headed quickly towards Baker's village. The sooner they could eat the monster bird Grorid, the sooner they could liberate the entire village. Unexpectedly, when they were about to arrive, they suddenly found a yellow-haired goat. Looking at it, Li Ziming inexplicably felt a sense of familiarity. Why does this goat look so much like Sanji in One Piece? Wild goat, mammal capture level 1 or below. However, looking at the scar on his stomach, Li Ziming and Toriko looked at each other and immediately became serious. But then they came up with the same idea and pushed Baker out directly. Beck, that wild goat is now in your hands. Hunt it in your own way. Nanny. Chapter 17. The moment Baker was pushed out by Toriko and Li Ziming, he was discovered by the wild goat. The goat was already in a panic due to his injury, so the moment he saw Baker, he rushed over and kicked him twice in order to save his face. Seeing the wild goat rushing towards him, Baker was so scared that he turned around and ran, spitting out foul language as he ran. At this moment, he was scared to the extreme, his adrenaline surged, and he ran non-stop. When Li Ziming and Toriko saw this scene, they couldn't help but marvel at Baker's speed. He was so fast, no wonder he could run from the village to the central wholesale market of food in just a few days. Baker, you're running pretty fast, but you have to find a way to defeat him. Otherwise, the moment you stop, you'll be killed by the sheep head of the old Ma family. Oysters, 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 I can't do that. Are you going to run away forever? Cheer up. You know a lot about the characteristics of plants and animals. Find the weakness of the wild goat and create an opportunity to defeat it. The people in your village are waiting for you to catch food for them. Listening to the teachings of the two people over there, Baker was very scared in his heart, but when he thought of the villagers and his mother, he made up his mind and decided to give it a try. He led the wild goat back and forth among the rubble of stone pillars, and when the time was right he successfully shook the wild goat so that it could not find him. It was at this time that Baker recalled the description of the wild goat in the illustration, immediately thought of its weakness, and began to look for a suitable place nearby. Soon, he found a small cliff with a very steep slope, took the initiative, used a slingshot to attract attention, and quickly ran over there with the wild goat. Just when the goat was about to bite off Baker's head, they arrived at the place. Baker jumped directly off the cliff and rolled back and forth to relieve the force, but the wild goat didn't have the brains to do that. It jumped from the cliff and then was thrown down heavily with its 700 or 800 kilograms body. Its limbs were directly shattered and its head hit the rock with huge force, killing it. When he stood up and saw that he had used his wisdom to defeat the wild goat, he jumped up excitedly. Great, Mr. Toriko, Mr. Li Ziming, I did it. At this moment, Toriko and Li Ziming came over and congratulated him on his victory. Congratulations, this is the wisdom of mankind, Baker. Yes, wild goats have long hooves. Although they are very fast, they are also very fragile. They cannot withstand the huge physical pressure of jumping down, so they will break their bones and fall down after jumping down. But don't be complacent, Baker. Look at the abdomen of this wild goat. It has been injured for a long time. That's why we treat it as your prey. No way, could the beast that hurt it still be nearby? Baker said fearfully. Li Ziming shrugged, I didn't notice it, I guess it's not here anymore. Toriko looked at the wild goat and said, let's go, the prey you caught is perfect for food for your villagers. That's right, let's go. Baker couldn't wait any longer. After that, Li Ziming put away the wild goat, and the three of them set out on their journey again. For some reason, the closer they got to Baker's village, the fewer wild beasts and plants there were, as if they had been eaten by something. Soon, they arrived at Baker's village, but this time it was full of ruins. There was not a single sign of human life. Instead, there was an air of desolation. Looking at this scene, Baker collapsed and rushed into the village shouting. Is anyone there, Mom, the village chief, Mina? Just as Baker was kneeling on the ground crying, thinking that he was too late, a sound suddenly came from the ruins not far away. A large stone slab was turned over, and several people appeared in the dust. Baker looked closely and found that they were the village chief and everyone in the village. Beck, we're fine, everyone is fine. We dug a cave to hide in order to avoid being discovered by the strange bird. Baker became excited instantly after hearing this, and at this moment, he heard a voice calling his name from behind him. He turned around and saw that it was his mother. Seeing the reunited mother and son, the villagers who had been hiding around them also appeared one after another. Seeing how pale and thin they were and how covered they were with wounds, Ziming directly took out some sweet fruits from the system space, as well as the red-haired pigs and various ingredients captured along the way, and of course the wild goats defeated by Baker, to fill their stomachs first. You can eat as much as you want. In an instant, a large group of children came over and started to taste these delicacies. Baker also introduced the identities of Toriko and Ziming to the village chief and others. The village chief was instantly excited after hearing this. The village was saved now, and he immediately started to prepare for the banquet. Soon, the flame was lit and the wild goats were placed on the grill. It wouldn't be long before they could eat the fragrant roasted whole goat. Ziming also left the goat's head, ready to pour some water on it later. It's funny to think about pouring water on this goat's head that looks like Sanji. Just as everyone was preparing to start eating, the thick smoke was finally seen by the strange bird Galorid, which flapped its wings and flew towards this side. Although they didn't see the bird, they could hear its cry. The villagers were so frightened that they immediately panicked and dropped their food and hid in their previous holes. What Ziming and Toriko were waiting for was the strange bird. After all, so much food was not enough for the two of them. If the strange bird came, they would be able to fill their stomachs. Strong winds blew by, and the monster bird grid officially appeared. The comic version has 5 heads and a real body, and it looks like a dodoli. Now it can eat chicken heads to be full. Monster bird Gorud, bird and beast capture level 15 Toriko, are you going to go first or am I going to go first? I'm so hungry. Let me do it. I guess you'll have time to take action later. After Toriko finished speaking, he rushed towards the strange bird. He was very familiar with this kind of strange bird. During the days in the Colosseum of Igo, he often fought with this kind of strange bird, although he had also eaten a lot of it. Although he knew about this strange bird, he still felt something was wrong. Normally, strange birds in the wild would not leave their hunting grounds unless a more powerful enemy appeared, which would drive them out. We'll talk about what happens next later. Goodbye. The hunt for the monster bird Gorud has officially begun. I'm going to start by expressing my gratitude to all the ingredients in the world. The other 4 heads of the monster bird quickly attacked and tried to attack Toriko and eat him, but he obviously underestimated Toriko. He could easily kill a small kun head with one punch. He easily defeated several kun heads. Toriko understood that although the monster bird had many heads, there was only one that truly controlled the body, which was the bird head in the middle. In order to defeat him as quickly as possible and eat the monster bird meat earlier, Toriko decisively prepared 3 consecutive charged nail punches. However, just as he was about to rush forward, the monster bird flapped its wings quickly and retreated. Obviously, the monster birds in the wild are very sensitive and can clearly sense the threat from Toriko. Toriko had no choice but to rush to the strange bird again. When he was attacked by Kuntu again, he stretched out his arm and let it bite him. Then he took this opportunity to pick up the strange bird and smashed it heavily to the ground. Then he rushed to the chest of the monster bird while charging up power, charged 3 consecutive nail punches, and smashed them at the chicken breast of the monster bird. 1 punch, 2 punches, and 3 consecutive nail punches were blasted out, directly hitting the monster bird a little bit. The monster bird Galorid died. Thanks for the treat. Chapter 18. Although Toriko successfully defeated the monster bird grid, his face became very serious, as if the crisis had not been resolved yet. He came to the crowd and told them what he had discovered: hunger, a desperate hunger. The strange birds were also forced out of their hunting grounds, so they came here to look for food. Before Ziming spoke, Baker felt that there was no ferocious beast that could drive away the strange bird Galorid, but Toriko's words made Baker and the villagers panic. The red-haired pigs that were not in the original plains, the bat snakes that were driven into the canyon, and the wild goats that were caught by Baker had their stomachs attacked by the claws of some beast. Considering the current situation of the beasts nearby, there is only one truth. Upon seeing this, Ziming immediately came to Toriko's side and told him the name of the beast. How many times do you touch my belly? Elephant bear. Release the main task, capture the elephant bear. Task reward, 500 points. Elephant bear, you mean the legendary beast in the Tatang plain, the elephant bear. Upon hearing this answer, the village chief could no longer hold back. But Baker was confused. But thinking about it, it was normal. After all, he was too young and it was normal for him not to understand. Seeing this, the village chief also talked about some information about the elephant bear. The elephant bear is a top predator. The last time it appeared was 15 years ago. At that time, an elephant bear woke up and ate everything that appeared in front of it. It was at that time that all the animals and plants on this land were eaten by it. In order to forget that fear, the elephant bear has become a taboo word since then. In an instant, all the adults in the village fell into panic. It was impossible to fight such a terrifying elephant bear, but they obviously forgot the existence of two gourmet hunters in this place. Compared to the panic of the villagers, Toriko seemed extremely excited at this moment, and even drooled at the corners of his mouth. On the one hand, it was about the battle, and on the other hand, it was about the taste of the elephant bear. A 15-year hibernation? I think all the food stored in the elephant bear's body has been consumed. In addition, he has been awake for several days, and the fat and energy stored in his body. I think the meat of the elephant bear must be the most delicious thing now. Li Ziming, Baker, do you want to taste the elephant bear? I have decided. I want to capture the elephant bear. Li Ziming was naturally very willing to do this. He was very excited when he thought that he finally had the chance to take action. However, before that, he needed to fill his stomach. Don't worry, Toriko. Eat first. I can't wait to eat the monster bird Garolid. There's also a sheep's head waiting for me to pour over it. Yes, don't worry, everyone. We will capture the elephant bear successfully. Before that, let's eat. Oh. Seeing Toriko excitedly rushing to the strange bird to clean it up, a group of happy villagers also gathered around to help, but Baker stayed where he was, thinking. Seeing this, Li Ziming on the side was naturally worried about something. It's okay. Even though the elephant bear is very strong, I'm still here. It's easy to capture an elephant bear. But... So, why don't you come with us and broaden your horizons? This is also a kind of practice. Don't worry, take your time to think about it. But before you go, be mentally prepared. What about you and your family? Li Ziming said, pointing at Baker's mother. After comforting Baker, Li Ziming looked at the villagers and Toriko. They had plucked the feathers of the strange bird, made a large barbecue grill and put it on it. Seeing this scene, Li Ziming couldn't help but admire these people. Not all meat tastes good when grilled, but he was too lazy to go over and do it since it had already been grilled anyway. Epsilon equals Omicron asterisk. Hey, Komatsu, when are you coming? I can't wait to eat your food. While they were grilling, Li Ziming returned to the place where they had roasted the whole lamb before and ate the roasted whole lamb. Of course, the lamb head was also edible. He asked the villagers for some dried chilies, cumin, salt, rapeseed oil, and balsamic vinegar, and of course purple apples were also indispensable. He took out some seasonings, vanilla seeds, and whale tongue flowers from his system space, dried them and crushed them one by one with his hands and put them in a bowl. Then he started to boil a pot of rapeseed oil, and when it was boiling, poured it into the prepared seasonings. Add Ziming's homemade chili salt. Pour in hot rapeseed oil. Sizzle. Sizzle. Add some more vinegar. Soul juice, pour it on. Li Ziming was very happy to see the sheep's head in front of him. He could finally replicate the sheep's head from Lao Ma's family. He pulled off one side of the meat from the sheep's head and began to cook it regardless of the scalding rapeseed oil. The lamb face meat is very tender and melts in your mouth. With the addition of his special seasoning, it not only blends perfectly with the lamb, but also enhances the fragrance and tenderness of the lamb head. This combination is simply perfect. Unexpectedly, just as he was about to take the second bite, Toriko, a dog not far away, smelled it. Ah! What are you eating? It smells so good, why don't you call me? Haha, I just finished cooking it and took a bite. Okay, I'll try it too. After that, Toriko turned into Lao Ma and started to taste sheep's heads. As a gourmet hunter with more than 10 years of experience, his movements were comparable to Lao Ma's. But think about it, Toriko believes that as long as he kills the prey, he will eat it all. He has eaten tens of thousands of sheep, if not hundreds. I guess he has eaten a lot of sheep's heads. But Li Ziming just thought about it for a while, and Toriko had almost built them all for him. Looking at the remaining sheep heads, there were only 2 boomerangs left. Wow, there was no emotional bone left. Helplessly, he could only eat the purple apple he had not eaten just now, gnaw on the lamb chops, and look at the roasted strange bird not far away. He had to admit, it smelled quite fragrant even from such a distance. After a while, with the concerted efforts of all the villagers, the strange bird Galorid was finally roasted by them. Everyone celebrated together, celebrating that their village was finally free from the invasion of the strange bird, and this was all thanks to Toriko's help. After that, he pulled off 2 roasted bird legs, handed one to Toriko and the other to Ziming to taste. The 2 of them naturally felt at ease and ate very happily. I have to say, this strange bird leg tastes pretty good when roasted. The skin is crispy and sizzling with oil. As expected of a village that makes a living by hunting, they must be very good at barbecue. Ziming put the bird leg directly into his mouth and took a bite. There were only 2 words in his mind: delicious. Because the strange bird lives in cold areas, the meat is very firm, similar to the feeling of eating ostrich meat, but without so many tendons. After being roasted by the villagers, it is fragrant and very chewy. In a short while, the 2 men had finished eating the bird legs, but their stomachs were still full. Obviously, this little bit of meat was just a drop in the bucket for them. As they talked, the 2 men stepped forward again and started eating other parts of the roasted strange bird, ready to feast on it. But just when Ziming passed by, Baker found him. Have you thought about it? I've thought it through. Want to go? I want to go. Chapter 19. Soon, after all the villagers, Ziming and Toriko feasted on the food, only the skeleton of the strange bird Gorud was left. The villagers were full, but Ziming and Toriko were just eating to whet their appetite. Toriko, are you full? No, it's just an appetite after eating. Then let's go and capture the elephant bear. Come on, I can't wait to taste it. Calling Baker, Ziming and Toriko walked towards the distant mountains amid the villagers' farewell and reluctance to leave. According to Toriko's inference, the strange bird Galorid that lived in the mountainous area should have been driven down from the foot of the nearby mountains. If he guessed correctly, the elephant bear should be foraging in the hunting grounds of the strange bird Galorid, and its range of activities should also be in that place. But this time it was Baker who led the way for them. Living in this place, even if he couldn't hunt, he knew various skills. His escape skills were also developed in this place. Looking at Baker, who was very motivated, Ziming suddenly thought of something. Since he had nothing to do, he simply provided Baker with some ideas. Beck, I remember you used a slingshot, right? Yeah, what's the matter, Mr. Ziming? Have you ever thought about changing your weapon, like a sword or something? Maybe in the future, but for me right now, the slingshot suits me best. Seeing Baker like this, Ziming suddenly thought of the long-nosed Sniper King. He felt that Bike had the qualifications to be him. They could use a slingshot, their escape speed was abnormally fast, and their heads were full of knowledge. They were either bragging or on the way to bragging. Thinking of this, he suddenly thought of the Regeneration Division. According to Baker's brain, he could become a reserve Regeneration Division. Not only could he learn more knowledge, but he could also regenerate all kinds of strange plant seeds, and then use them with a slingshot to launch them. He would be a hexagonal warrior that combines combat, control, assistance, treatment, logistics, and defense. This kind of reserve talent must be recruited into his own people. Then Baker, have you ever thought about making different projectiles and launching them with a slingshot, such as gunpowder or various chemical agents? Oh my god, it turns out this is possible. Before, I was like, oh, pure big Kirby. When Baker heard this idea, countless thoughts suddenly came to his mind. Why had he never thought of this way of playing before? It turned out that he had just played for fun before. Ziming smiled slightly when he saw this, and then asked Toriko, Toriko, do you know any Regeneration Master? Regeneration Master, you mean to let him be an apprentice? Oh, that's right, that group of people have the most ideas. Baker also has this brain, but unfortunately, I rarely deal with those Regeneration Masters, but I can ask for you. After hearing their counterattack, Baker was confused about what a Regeneration Master was and what an apprentice was, but it sounded like a compliment to him. He was just about to thank them for the compliment, but he accidentally stepped on empty air and fell into a small puddle, getting soaked all over. Pa, I remember there weren't any puddles here before. This is not a pond, these are the footprints of an elephant or bear. Oh my god, my feet are so big, what size shoes can fit them? Seeing the size of the footprint, Toriko immediately became serious compared to Ziming's laughter. The footprint was so big, how big must the fish be? The capture level must be at least in the 20s. When Li Ziming dragged Baker out, they suddenly heard a lot of strange noises not far away. Turning around, they saw a group of ugly brown monkeys rushing towards them, as if they were having afternoon tea. It's the hunters of the forest, the barbarian monkeys. I guess they were also driven out by the elephants and bears. It seems like they treat us as food. Let me do it. Hey, they're useless, just run away. That won't do. Running away isn't my style. Barbarian monkey, mammals capture level 1 or below. Seeing the barbarian monkey rushing over, Li Ziming also rushed over. He hadn't taken action for a long time. He could kill a kid with one punch. To him, a Saiyan giant ape, no matter how big the monkey was, it was just a kindergarten kid, except for the Monkey King of course. I told you to be so ugly, and I told you to insult the monkeys. After a few slaps, this group of Barbary monkeys fell silent. It was not that they could not speak, but they were all young monkeys, so they fell asleep immediately. Defeat the barbarian monkey group, points plus 20. Hey, them. Don't worry, they are just dizzy. I didn't kill them. After all, they can't be eaten. That's fine, let's go. Looking at the points I have earned, I miss them so much after not seeing them for a long time. I really need to hunt, otherwise I won't be able to earn many points. After defeating the barbarian monkeys, the three followed the elephant bear's footprints and walked in the corresponding direction. It must be said that it was not known whether this elephant bear flew or jumped. There was a footprint at a long distance. Some of them contained bones, and some contained mud. After searching all the way, the three came to a forest. There are dead trees everywhere, without a single bit of green, obviously all eaten by elephants, bears or other animals. But as they walked, a group of huge wild boars appeared, with fangs all over their bodies and a tuft of orange hair on their backs, just like the Shamit. However, Li Ziming felt inexplicably familiar when looking at these pigs, as if he had seen them in a Hayao Miyazaki movie. Man-eating wild boar zebra, mammal capture level 5 nanny, there are so many man-eating wild boars. Although the meat is good and suitable for making stewed food, it is very fierce. What? Make it into braised food. Let me have it, Toriko. I haven't had braised food for a long time, I want to eat my fill. Toriko said that the meat was of good quality and suitable for making braised food. It seemed that the meat of this man-eating wild boar zebra should not be too bad. This greatly aroused Li Ziming's appetite. He hadn't eaten braised food for a long time. Now he could eat as much as he wanted. After saying that, Li Ziming burst into anger and punched the man-eating wild boar Banbro directly on the forehead with his little fist, knocking it to the ground and taking the first kill. Then he killed the second, third, fourth and fifth one, getting 5 kills again, which was amazing. Defeat the herd of man-eating wild boars, points plus 25. I put the man-eating wild boar's zebra into the backpack one by one. Now I finally have a new ingredient, but it's just pork again. Die for that. You really are a foodie. Hey hey hey. Let's go, there will be braised food to eat later. Soon, they walked out of the dilapidated forest and came to the foot of a high mountain not far away. There were dark clouds covering the mountains, and below were a group of strange birds, Gorud, about 7 or 8 of them, hiding in the canyon, watching the uninvited guests. There were 2.5 gourmet hunters, and Baker counted as half of them. Li Ziming recalled the taste of the strange birds he had eaten before, and his mouth began to water again. Just as he was about to go over and catch a few, Toriko spoke. You have to be greedy for delicious food at the right time. The elephant bear is right there. Just eat it. You can catch a few more later. Okay, I'll listen to you. Toriko carried Baker on his back and jumped towards the mountain, while Li Ziming took off directly, leaving the two men confused. They thought, brother, why didn't you tell me earlier that you could fly? Under the condemning gazes of the two men, Li Ziming had several black lines on his head. Finally, he couldn't stand it anymore, so he came down and flew with them. No buddy, how can you fly? If you want to learn, I'll teach you later, but I can't guarantee that you can learn it. Sure, I'll provide food and lodging, I'm not afraid you won't be able to teach me. Soon, Li Ziming brought 2 people up. Unexpectedly, as soon as the 3 of them landed and Li Ziming hadn't even stood firmly, 2 of them seemed to have seen something incredible. Their legs went weak and they collapsed to the ground. Following the 2 people's gaze, Li Ziming also saw what they saw, that is, the top beast in front of him, the elephant bear, which was several stories tall and caused abnormalities in the ecological circle of the Tadang Plain. Elephant Bear, Mammalian Capture Level 20. Chapter 20. You two are such losers. You just fell down after being scared. Li Ziming joked as he looked at the two limp people. Looking at this creature in front of you, which is completely white, with a lower body like an elephant and an upper body like a bear, and a long trunk with two fangs stuck next to it, no one knows whether the white bear cheated on him or the elephant was cuckolded. At this moment, Toriko and Baker were already crushed by the elephant bear's aura. Infinite fear suddenly rose in their hearts, and they felt that they could no longer defeat such a powerful existence. Of course, this was only Baker. Toriko recovered quickly. Although he was also filled with fear, his appetite instantly took over when he thought of the delicious food that had been stored for 15 years and the freshest meat that had just been grown. Li Ziming, let me try it first. Okay, but I'm here to finish you off. Oh. Toriko exerted his strength and ran quickly towards the elephant bear. Just as he got close, he was almost caught by the elephant bear's claw. Fortunately, he dodged in time and was not attacked. Do you want to eat me? What a coincidence. I want to eat you too. After saying that, Toriko rushed forward again and started fighting with the elephant bear. Toriko couldn't attack the elephant bear, and the elephant bear couldn't attack Toriko. At this moment, they were both waiting for the other to reveal a flaw. Soon, Toriko found an opportunity and quickly jumped along the elephant bear's legs to its chest, directly charging up 3 consecutive punches. However, this amount of power was just like a tickle and did not cause any damage to the elephant bear's hard skin. The elephant bear slapped Toriko away with one claw, then stepped on him to the ground, mocking his weakness, roaring loudly about his victory, showing off his strength. Seeing that Toriko was about to be eaten and kissed by the elephant bear's trunk, Li Ziming set off. In a flash, he arrived in front of the elephant bear and knocked it back 10 meters with one punch. With Shiai's help, he not only used his strength just right, but also rescued Toriko perfectly. Toriko, this won't work for you. How about I take over? Wait a minute. I still have a trump card to play. Wild animals like these have always trusted their sharp claws and teeth. It's time to let them see what human weapons are like. After Toriko finished speaking, a ghost instantly condensed behind him. No, it was the appearance of a gourmet devil, a red ghost. Toriko's two arms rubbed against each other quickly, making a metallic sound. Thanks for all the food in the world, I'm going to eat. But the elephant bear remained unmoved and rushed directly towards Toriko, determined to eat the little Karami. The moment he arrived, Toriko immediately used the fork in his left hand to stab the elephant bear's nose, then turned his right hand into a knife and cut a layer of double eyelids for the elephant bear. I don't know if my body can handle it, so let's give it a try, elephant bear. Toriko once again gathered strength in his right arm, ready to end it all with his nail fist. As he gathered strength, his right arm also expanded. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 nail fists were in place, but it was not over yet. At this critical moment, he remembered the food righteousness that Li Ziming had mentioned. A feeling of gratitude arose in his heart again. Although his arm stopped expanding, the amount of power in his nail fist increased. It was obvious that he had a new understanding of the nail fist at this moment. 6 consecutive nail punches. Toriko directly activated 6 consecutive nail punches, which instantly hit the elephant bear's abdomen and knocked it away. However, the released nail punches were still exerting force, and the elephant bear was directly hit by the impact force onto the rocks dozens of meters away and was on the verge of death. Oh, it's still a little bit off, Toriko. Let me help you finish it. Seeing that the battle was over and Toriko was exhausted, Li Ziming stepped forward and helped the elephant bear fall asleep. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You often sleep for several years anyway, so just take a nap. After 18 years, who knows what kind of animal you will be. Kill the elephant bear and get 20 points. Complete the main mission, capture the elephant bear, points plus 500. After putting the food into the backpack, he came back to see Toriko who was exhausted. Li Ziming never expected that Toriko could actually perform 6 consecutive nail punches. You know, for a nail punch, it is already very powerful to be able to charge 5 shots. It is already amazing that Toriko could charge 1 more shot after being exhausted. Good job, Toriko. You can now charge up 6 spike punches. Li Ziming, the Shi Yi you cultivated in Qilin Temple is surprisingly so strong. The 5 methods were already at my limit, but I have accumulated power for one more time. How strong are you now? Yeah, not that strong, just a few dozen times stronger than you. If I didn't need some experience and couldn't learn the ultimate secret of Shimo, I would have already left. You mean, the food world? At this moment, Toriko was too lazy to pay attention to this person. She didn't expect that a food hunter who had debuted for more than 10 years was not as strong as the acting teacher who came out of Shakuranji to gain experience. It can be imagined how powerful the teacher of Shakuranji would be. Li Ziming, I'm hungry. I want to eat a lot today. Let's go back and have a party. Okay. Beck, come out. Help Toriko back to the party. Baker, who was hiding nearby, was so shocked that he couldn't be more shocked. He didn't expect that the legendary beast in the Tadang Plains was killed by Toriko. Of course, Li Ziming's contribution was also thanks to him. How powerful could someone be to be able to knock an elephant bear away with one punch? Back. Here it comes. But just as the three were about to leave, Li Ziming sensed another powerful aura, a beast of similar type to the elephant bear, but stronger than him. Soon, the beast revealed its true identity. It was also an elephant bear, but its skin color was darker than the one in the backpack, and it was also a little bigger. The one just now was a male, and this one is a female. It was probably the mate of the previous one. She immediately rushed over when she heard the elephant bear's screams. Oh my god, why is there still one? Perfect, I'll take a break and leave it to you, Li Ziming. Well, it's finally my turn. Li Ziming observed it for a while and found that this female elephant bear looked familiar. It seemed to be the other elephant bear that Toriko captured at the end in the movie. With his joining, she came here faster this time. That's why she only wandered around instead of going out to hunt, and finally returned here in time. I looked at the elephant bear, then at the exhausted Toriko next to him, and felt that we could have a teaching game. Toriko, let me give you a teaching session. First, your knife and fork. After that, Toriko's knife and fork appeared on Li Ziming's left and right arms, but compared to Toriko's steely sound, Li Ziming could directly materialize the knife and fork. Toriko, watch out for this move called flying fork and flying knife. The next second, as Li Ziming swung his arms, a knife and a fork flew out one after another, directly pinning the elephant bear to the spot, and then the flying knife followed to cut off the elephant bear's nose. Toriko was stunned when he saw Li Ziming's operation. He was shocked that his knife and fork could be used in this way, but what shocked him more was yet to come. Toriko, this time, it's still your knife and fork, but who says that you have to use your arms for knives and forks? Hearing this, Toriko was shocked again. If one doesn't use arms to use a knife and fork, then does one use feet? Hey, you don't say it, you really don't say it, I really used my feet. Li Ziming raised his right foot and kicked the elephant bear that was stabbed by the fork. Under the shocked gazes of Toriko and Buick, Li Ziming raised his right leg, then kicked out a kick like kicking a ball, which instantly flew towards the elephant bear. With one stroke, the elephant bear's body was split in half right from the middle. Ah, I haven't finished teaching you yet, forget it. Toriko, did you learn it? I'll teach you something else next time. Ha, you still have some. Chapter 21. Kill the elephant bear and get 20 points. Put the 2 elephant bears into the system space. The huge elephant bears directly occupied nearly half of the area. Obviously, the system space needs to be upgraded, otherwise there will be too much space to hold the prey in the future. Can you still get up, Toriko? Of course, let's go back and eat the elephant bear, I can't wait. You are so strong, Mr. Toriko, Mr. Li Ziming, you are so awesome. This is just the beginning. Maybe you can be this strong in the future. Seeing that Toriko was a little exhausted, Li Ziming took out a piece of sweet whole fruit from his backpack and handed it to him to help him recover some strength. Unexpectedly, at this time, after realizing that the elephant bear was no longer a threat on the mountain, a few brave strange birds, Grorad, flew up and tried to return to their territory. When Li Ziming saw this, he was delighted. He had let them off last time, but this time they came to his door on their own initiative. It seemed that he could eat chicken again. Just as Toriko was about to go up, he was pulled down by him, and then he stuffed a piece of sweet fruit into his hand. Stand here and don't move. I'll go and kill a few kun for you, oh no, strange birds. As he spoke, Li Ziming flew directly in front of the group of strange birds Gorolad. In just a few moves, he defeated them easily with one punch each. Kill the group of strange birds Gorolid and get 60 points. Achieve Silver Achievement, Gourmet Prologue. Achievement Reward, 100 points. Li Ziming looked at the silver achievement in confusion. He was very puzzled as to why he did not get it after defeating the elephant bear, but got it after killing the monster bird Gorolid. With this question in mind, he asked the system. Master System, what happened to this prologue of delicious food? Why did it only trigger now? This achievement is obtained because you have captured/defeated all the ingredients that appeared in the original work, and you did not defeat the strange bird Gorolid before, so it will appear after this capture. After hearing this, Li Ziming understood. It turned out that he had not killed the strange bird in the village before, otherwise it would have been triggered when he killed the elephant bear just now. Since it existed here, why was there no similar achievement on Hanger Ryla Island before? If you don't meet the requirements, then you don't have to. You mean, Coco Koala and Trumpet Lion? Li Ziming was very helpless. If he had known, he would have gone to capture it earlier. Maybe he could have exchanged it for the somersault cloud directly. However, he might not meet Zhen Town Normal School again. There are pros and cons. It seems that he can go again with Toriko, Komatsu and Terry. After finishing the work, Li Ziming returned to Toriko and Baker. The two were no longer so shocked that he could kill the strange bird so quickly, and now they were preparing to go back. Toriko ate something at this moment and was able to move around normally, but Li Ziming suddenly had an idea and looked at his panel to see how many points he had. Host, Li Ziming, Takai, Gender, Male Age, 20 years old. Bloodline, Saiyan Superior Bloodline plus Combat Power, 3100 points, 3248 number of times you can cross, 0 skills, Air Dance, Qigong Wave, Giant Ape Transformation, High Speed Flight, Chi Sensing, Tail Attack, Nail Fist, Knife and Fork. Backpack, 100 cubic meters. Gypsy Bear X2, Strange Bird Gerard X4. Li Ziming saw that his points had reached 3248, and it was time to spend some money to buy a mount. I spent 100 points and bought a somersault cloud directly from the system store. Now I can fly while sitting. On the one hand, it can reduce consumption, and on the other hand, it can carry people and goods. Minus 100 points. Somersault cloud, split cloud, somersault cloud, divided cloud available at any time, a flying prop from the Dragon Ball world, not afraid of bullets, guns and all other physical attacks, but will be dispersed by abnormal attacks. Only people with a kind heart can ride on it. After the system is modified, anyone can ride on it, but the means to detect kindness are retained. At this moment, watching Baker supporting Toriko and preparing to go back step by step, Li Ziming came directly in front of them. Toriko, Beck, do you want to fly back? Of course I did. Are you going to teach me how to fly? That thing can't be rushed, but I have other means. What? Li Ziming shouted directly to the sky, somersault cloud. Soon, a yellow cloud flew down and slowly stopped in front of the three people. Oh my god, what is this? This is my mount, the somersault cloud. With it, you can fly. Sit on it. Toriko and Baker were touching things excitedly, but when they heard this, they sat directly on the cloud. It was soft and bouncy, and very comfortable to sit on. Li Ziming was very satisfied when he saw this scene. He had just activated the detection function of the somersault cloud, but the two of them were still able to ride on it. It was obvious that they were both very kind. Soon after, Li Ziming also got on it, and the somersault cloud took off directly and flew towards Baker's village. For a moment, the speed was very fast. Although it was not as fast as Li Ziming's flying speed, it was half the speed. Sitting on the cloud, Toriko and Baker were stunned by the experience. The feeling of flying was so great. It was at this time that they noticed that without the threat of the elephant bear, many animals in the Tadang plain began to return to Grid's territory. Of course, the plants were also growing slowly. It was obvious that it would not be long before this place would return to its former state. Soon, they returned to Baker's village. Li Ziming thought this speed was normal, but Baker and Toriko thought it was too fast as it had only been a short time. When the villagers saw them, they came over to greet them. I'm glad you're back safely. Let's go back to the village and rest first. What's wrong, village chief? We have returned victoriously and defeated the elephant bear. After that, Li Ziming took out an elephant bear from the system space. Seeing the elephant bear that had become as big as a mountain, the villagers were stunned. Oh my god, the legend is true, there really are elephant bears. Listening to the villagers' discussions, the village chief was stunned, and then he solemnly thanked Toriko and Ziming, "Thank you for eliminating the elephant bear for us and restoring the ecology of the Tatang Plain. It's just a small thing. If you really want to thank us, just help us cook the elephant bear and then have a banquet. Of course, leave it to us next. Family, it's time for the party." Next, Toriko and Ziming took a rest while Baker and the villagers started cooking the elephant bear. Soon, I don't know if it was because of any similar experience, but under the command of the village chief, a whole elephant bear was quickly cooked by the villagers, and it looked very tempting. Ziming and Toriko stepped forward immediately upon seeing this. They couldn't wait to taste the elephant bear meat. Regardless of the fact that the meat was scalding hot, they immediately cut a piece with a knife and started eating. The cooked elephant bear meat has a unique fragrance. The moment you put it in your mouth, the full juice bursts out. Unlike the greasiness of fat, it has a fruity sweetness, which may be related to the omnivorous nature of the elephant bear. With every bite, a new flavor emerges, as if you are not eating a land creature like a bear, but the tenderness and sweetness of top-quality deep-sea fish. When they came to their senses, the villagers were enjoying food they had never tasted before. Everyone shed tears of gratitude. They had never thought that they would be able to eat such delicious food in their lifetime. The banquet lasted from the afternoon until dusk. Everyone was full except for two people who were still eating. They were Ziming and Toriko. The banquet ended only when all the elephant bear meat had been eaten by them. "Oh my god, you guys can really eat, Mr. Toriko, Mr. Ziming. I've eaten well, I'm almost 80% full." "This is only about 80% full, how much can you eat? We're just getting started. By the way, Baker, do you want to come with us? We can make you stronger." Baker was very surprised when he heard Ziming's question. He didn't expect that a little karami like him would be valued so much by the two of them. He was very excited, but when he thought of his mother at home, he suddenly hesitated. After thinking about it, he made a decision. "I'm sorry, Mr. Toriko, Mr. Ziming, thank you for your kindness. Our village is now in ruins and the ecology has not yet recovered. I don't want to leave my mother and the villagers behind." Ziming was not surprised to hear Baker's answer. If he were to choose, he would probably choose the same answer as Baker, so he did not force it. "In that case, you should grow up slowly. This is the heart-seeking pen. Take it. Remember to practice your food righteousness. See if Toriko can help you find some books on regeneration masters and send them to you to study. When you have no worries, you can go to the Food Forest Temple or become a regeneration master." "Okay, thank you Mr. Ziming and Mr. Toriko. It's a small matter. I will come to check on you from time to time. You must use your knowledge to capture prey for the villagers." "Yeah, I remember it." As Ziming and Toriko stood up and prepared to leave, the villagers also reacted and came forward to say goodbye. They were very reluctant to part with these two benefactors. "We're leaving now, everyone, no need to see us off. Mr. Toriko, Mr. Ziming, I hope to meet you again someday. We'll meet again if we're destined to. See you next time. By the way, I'll share some of my prey with you. You're really short of food right now." After that, Ziming took out two strange birds, Grorid, and two man-eating wild boars, Zebra, from the system space as their nearest food source. "This is all I can do to help you. For the rest you need to go out hunting on your own. On behalf of the whole village, I thank you for your generosity. Let's go, Somersault Cloud." Finally, under the watchful eyes of Baker and the villagers, Ziming and Toriko boarded the Somersault Cloud and flew away. Thus ended the story of Tatang Plains, and no one knew when they would meet again. But Ziming knew that a new adventure would begin soon, one day in the near future. Under Toriko's guidance, he flew all the way to his house, which was the candy house that he had built at great expense. Chapter 22. The first ray of sunlight in the morning shone onto Ziming's face from the chocolate-framed windowsill. The temperature continued to rise, and the scent of the melted chocolate tree gradually woke him up. When he opened his eyes, he saw a ceiling inlaid with donuts of various flavors. There was strawberry jam oozing out of the window. Looking at everything around him, Ziming realized that he was in Toriko's house. "I came back late yesterday and fell asleep as soon as I arrived at Toriko's house. I didn't even get to eat all the desserts. It was such a pity. But it is not too late to eat now. He can try to eat up the whole house. Toriko will not blame him. Instead, she will continue to look for food to build a house, change the style and live in it for a while before eating something. Then she will look for food again and live there again. Therefore, the lifespan of Toriko's house basically does not exceed 1 month. Ziming cut a piece of the chocolate cake tree next to it and started eating it decisively. It tasted sweet like chocolate cake. Although the aftertaste was a bit bitter, it was still delicious. While eating chocolate cake and reading a book, I walked to Toriko's room, but found that he was not in his master bedroom. I didn't know where he went. Helplessly, Ziming could only grab a fried hot dog while walking and taste it. Although it was a little cold, the skin was still crispy, and the hot dog inside was simply delicious. When he goes down to the living room, he can take the cocoa cup and squeeze some fruit milk from the fruit milk tree to drink. The flavor of cocoa melts into the milk, which is sweet and delicious, and can also refresh the mind. It is simply perfect for him who wakes up early. After finding the remote control, Ziming sat on the soft cake sofa and watched TV. He was enjoying himself while eating donuts and drinking milk on the cake sofa. The news on TV attracted him. The food banquet for heads of state hosted by the World Food Organization (IGO) will be held the day after tomorrow. Not only heads of state are curious, but people from all over the world are also very curious about what the dishes will be at the food banquet. The venue for the gourmet banquet has been arranged by IGO to be its own 5-star gourmet hotel, and the banquet dishes will be prepared by the hotel's chef Komatsu. But according to gossip, some of the dishes for the banquet have not yet been decided, and IGO is still looking for suitable ingredients. Watching the news reported by food reporter Tina, Ziming didn't expect to enter the plot so quickly. Presumably, IGO now also needs to entrust someone to capture ingredients, and Toriko is naturally the candidate. With him, there will be himself, and there must be Komatsu. Now he can finally get more points, meet more people, and eat more delicious food. Unconsciously, he had eaten up most of the food in the living room. Seeing this, Ziming stopped. There was still some time to go before the plot was over, and he couldn't expect that the food would be gone by the time he got home. He might as well go back and eat more. It was just in time for him to build a more luxurious house for Toriko after he finished eating. But at this moment, Ziming also noticed the note on the chocolate door. He thought it should have been left by Toriko. After all, there was no one else here, so he took it down and started to look at it. "I'm going to catch breakfast. You can eat some in the house. It doesn't matter if you finish eating. It's just right to build a new one. If you want to find me, go to the cliff on the west side of the sea." As expected, Toriko really went fishing, and the plot was about to begin. Ziming thought about it and thought that if he went now, he might be able to see Komatsu. "I will protect your points." Ziming directly removed the chocolate door and started eating. This high-calorie food tastes delicious and sweet. It made him feel so happy. But it should be okay without the door, right? I think it should be okay. However, in order to prevent any small animals from coming in, Ziming still removed the biscuit wall inside the house and placed it in front of the original chocolate wall, which worked out pretty well. Somersault cloud. Soon, a yellow cloud stopped in front of him. Ziming sat on it and flew to the west, hoping to see Komatsu in time. Not long after, the somersault cloud carried him to the cliff by the sea, and he saw a waterfall nearby. Thinking it must be here, Ziming used his chi to sense and discovered Toriko's powerful chi and the chi of the scum not far behind him. When he flew over, he saw Komatsu had appeared. While he was saying something, Toriko's fishing rod moved. He pulled hard and caught a fish with lobster claws. But at this moment, a bird with 5 tails appeared and tried to snatch Toriko's prey. Claw swallowtail fish, fish and beasts capture level 1 5-tailed eagle, birds and beasts capture level 2. Seeing this, how could Toriko bear it? She took advantage of the moment when the 5-tailed eagle caught the fish and threw it to the ground. Its wings were damaged and it couldn't fly. Then Toriko stepped forward to finish it off, successfully killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Get the gold achievement, the starting point of destiny. Achievement reward, 100 points. Ziming was very happy to see another reward, but there was still one achievement he hadn't gotten yet, and that was about Komatsu. The next second, Komatsu came out from not far away. Looking at the freshly caught food in front of him, he was very excited and said to Toriko, "Mr. Toriko will definitely be able to catch that ingredient, the Kara crocodile." "What, you mean Kyla the giant crocodile?" "Yes, Not only are few people able to find its traces in nature, but its ecology remains a mystery to this day. It is said that this ferocious beast is difficult to capture even with a tank. Komatsu said with fear as he described the scene in which the Igo was once deployed. The main mission is released, capturing the Kyla crocodile. Task reward, 100 points. Hearing this, it was time for Ziming to come on stage. I think I heard something interesting. Is it a commission, Toriko? You're here. It's a commission from Igo. Do you want to go together? The Kyla crocodile tastes pretty good. Why, you've eaten it. I have eaten it before, but I have never caught it myself. I want to go. Oh wow, I have to go to see such delicious food that you would praise. Ziming said excitedly. But while the two were discussing, Komatsu on the side was shocked. What was going on? What was going on with this handsome guy in front of him? Why could he fly? What was the cloud sitting under his body and why could it carry him? When Komatsu thought about this, his computer shut down. At this time, Toriko discovered Komatsu's situation and explained to him, "This is my adventure partner, and the one underneath is his mount, the somersault cloud." Seeing this, Ziming jumped off his cloud and said hello to Komatsu. "Hello, I'm Ziming, the acting teacher of Shilin Temple, and now Toriko's adventure partner. Thank you for your guidance." "Ah. Hello, Mr. Ziming, I'm Komatsu. Achieve Gold Achievement, a chef favored by Food Luck Achievement Reward, 1000 points. Chapter 23. Ziming was very happy to see that another new achievement was achieved. Now that he had earned the points, the story was about to begin. However, when he looked at the crab, swallowtail fish and five-tailed eagle next to him, he had never eaten this kind of food before, so he simply asked Toriko what she thought. "Toriko, should we sell or eat these two ingredients?" "Of course I eat it. If I kill someone, I have to eat him. That's my rule." "Well, I can help you." Komatsu raised his hand tremblingly. Toriko looked at him with confusion, but as his sense of smell activated, he soon smelled the various high-grade spices in Komatsu's hand. "You are a chef, kid." "Yes, I'm the head chef of the Gourmet Hotel directly under Igo. It's just a 5-star hotel, you're extraordinary." "Then I'll leave it to you, Ziming." As soon as he heard Toriko calling him, Ziming knew what he was going to do, and he directly put the five-tailed eagle and crab swallowtail into the system space, and would take them back when Komatsu was cooking. Komatsu was shocked again when he saw this scene. Where did the ingredients go? He opened and closed his eyes, and they all disappeared. However, Ziming was too lazy to explain, and directly pulled the confused Komatsu onto the somersault cloud, and then Toriko jumped on. "Where should we go to eat?" "Let's go to Komatsu's hotel. We can have a simple brunch and then go to do the commission." "Sure, but where is the food wholesale market? I want to sell some ingredients to Tom later." "Okay, let's go over there first, let's fly over there." Ziming quickly flew in the direction of Toriko's finger. Komatsu on the side was stunned. He felt like he was really flying in the sky. This feeling was so exciting. The three of them flew all the way and soon arrived in the city. Soon they arrived at the food wholesale market. With Toriko's guidance, Ziming also saw the food wholesaler Tom. "Hey! Tom!" At this moment, Tom, who was counting the accounts in the warehouse below, seemed to hear some sound, but when he turned his head and looked around, he didn't see anyone. Just as he didn't take it seriously and continued to count the accounts, Ziming came directly behind him and patted him on the shoulder. "Hey, I'm calling you, Tom." "Ah, there lies $1. Tom was startled by the sudden appearance of Ziming. Only when he saw the person coming did he realize that it was Ziming, the acting teacher of Shilin Temple whom he had met before. "Please, acting teacher, could you not be so scary?" After taking a breath, Tom said to Ziming in a bad mood, "Didn't you go to see Toriko? Why are you back again?" "I have caught some ingredients and am here to sell them to you. Toriko has also found some and they are right there." Hearing this, Tom looked in the direction Ziming pointed to the sky, and the somersault cloud carrying Toriko and Komatsu came into his sight, shocking Tom for 100,000 years. Then Ziming let the somersault cloud come down and let Toriko say hello to him. "Hey, Tom, long time no see. Oh my god, what the hell are these things? They can actually fly. This is my mount, the somersault cloud. Let's not talk about anything else." Do you accept food here? I have several large prey here. I wonder if you can eat them. Hearing this, Tom immediately perked up. No matter how big the matter was, it was better to collect the food himself, which was the foundation of his livelihood. Then he took Li Ziming directly to one of his large warehouses, which was as big as a football field. It turned out that in this era, selling food was also very profitable. Look, I have such a big warehouse. I can eat anything, no matter how big it is. Come back and pull the prey here, and I'll pay you. Seeing this huge warehouse, Li Ziming also had a better understanding of Tom's strength. No need to look back, let's do it now. Li Ziming then took out a few ingredients that he had recently caught from the system space, including 2 red-haired pigs and 2 strange birds. He only needed to sell these 4. There are 3 man-eating wild boars in the system space. He is waiting to make them into braised meat to go with wine. As for the elephant bear, Li Ziming has not touched it for the time being. He feels that he may need it in the future. Tom, who was standing by, was shocked again. On the one hand, he was shocked by so many high-quality ingredients, and on the other hand, he was shocked where Li Ziming got them from. Hey, come back to your senses, let's count the money, we'll leave after that, we still have a commission. Oh, okay, Tom came to his senses and immediately arranged for his employees to start weighing the prey. It was still warm to the touch and was obviously very fresh. After a short while, the weight of the ingredients was weighed and it was time to pay the bill. The market price of the strange bird garrolet is about 10,000 yuan per 100 grams, but there is no demand. I will give you 12,000 yuan per 100 grams. 2 pieces are 11.2 tons, a total of 1.344 billion. The price of red pigs is relatively cheap, only 8,000 yuan per 100 grams, and 2 pigs weigh a total of 8 tons, which is 640 million yuan in total. The total is 1.984 billion. I'll give you 2 billion. Li Ziming was stunned when he heard so much money. He thought he would have a lot of money, but he didn't expect to become a billionaire. It turned out that food hunter is a very profitable profession. Won't you lose out by doing this? Of course not. Your red-haired pig is sold in the market, but your strange bird garrolet is rarely sold. This is the purchase price, and you can get a lot of money if you sell it. That'll do. By the way, didn't you ask me to remind Toriko to catch the chocolate mushrooms last time? Are these enough? Tom was shocked to see so many chocolate mushrooms. He didn't expect that Li Ziming had not forgotten them. He was so touched. Compared to Toriko, Li Ziming was simply an angel. Your chocolate mushrooms came just in time. Now my customers will be satisfied. Thank you. You're welcome, it's just a small matter. You got me 2 billion. Okay, give me the card number and I'll transfer the money to you later. After Li Ziming told Tom the card number, the system started to prompt whether the phone still had signal. Achievement, selling food ingredients for the first time. Achievement reward, 10 points. Achieve silver achievement, the first $1 million. Achievement reward, 100 points. Achieved gold achievement, the first $1 billion. Achievement reward, 1000 points. Li Ziming was ecstatic when he saw the 3 rewards he received. It seemed that he could earn money and gain achievements. He would have to come more often in the future to see if he could reach the first platinum achievement. However, he would probably need to earn a few trillion or a few kilometers, so who knows. Now that the ingredients were sold out, it was time for brunch. After saying goodbye to Tom, the 3 of them flew away on the somersault cloud and arrived at the entrance of Komatsu's hotel. I'm a billionaire, I'm telling you. Toriko, order whatever you want. I'll treat you to dinner. Chapter 24. It's Mr. Toriko. Toriko from the 4 heavenly kings of gourmet food is coming to our hotel. Mr. Toriko, please give me your autograph. As soon as the 3 of them walked into the door of the gourmet hotel, countless diners and staff recognized the prince and came forward to take photos and get his autograph. For a moment, Toriko was very busy. Toriko, you handle it first, we're going to the kitchen. Hello. Upon seeing this, Li Ziming and Komatsu immediately slipped away, leaving Toriko to deal with the enthusiastic fans on her own. Afterwards, Komatsu took Li Ziming to where he worked, which was also the largest kitchen with the most complete kitchenware and the largest number of people in the entire gourmet hotel. This was where Komatsu worked. Mr. Li Ziming, please put those 2 ingredients in here. Okay. Li Ziming directly took out the crab swallowtail and five-tailed eagle from the system space, and they instantly occupied nearly half of the kitchen. You can imagine how big this place is. After putting the ingredients in place, Li Ziming had nothing to do. After all, his cooking skills were not particularly good. What kind of cooking skills could you expect from a Saiyan? All he had to do was eat. Mr. Li Ziming, you can find a seat with Mr. Toriko and order some dishes to taste. I will cook the crab, swallowtail and five-tailed eagle as soon as possible. Okay, please, Komatsu. Let Komatsu cook in the kitchen, and Li Ziming returned to the lobby. At this moment, there were still many fans around Toriko, but soon the manager of the gourmet hotel appeared and immediately helped Toriko solve the problem. After all, he was the prince. Toriko also saw Li Ziming, who was watching the show nearby. After breaking away from the crowd of fans, he walked towards him and said, "You really don't care about brotherhood. You actually left me there alone. What can I do? I am helpless too. Who can blame me for not having the title of one of the 4 heavenly kings of gourmet food? I can be relaxed. You. Okay, Komatsu will cook the five-tailed eagle and crab swallowtail fish in a while, let's go eat something else first." Li Ziming comforted. At this moment, Toriko remembered that Li Ziming wanted to treat them all. A bad idea suddenly occurred to her, and then she immediately calmed down. "You said you were going to treat us. Yeah, eat whatever you want. I'm a billionaire. I'm telling you." Toriko immediately called the lobby manager and asked him to arrange a large dining table for the 2 of them, and they were soon seated. Holding the menu, Toriko threw it directly to the manager, "Bring 10 portions of all the dishes on this menu first." Oh, okay, right up. Hello. At this moment, Li Ziming realized that something was wrong. If Toriko continued to spend the money this way, the 2 billion that he had just received might be spent by him in just one meal. Li Ziming's face was very dark now, but Toriko joked, "You said you were the one treating me, so I have to rip you off. You're such a FG bird." After spitting out sweet words for a while, Li Ziming gradually calmed down. It seemed that the thoughts of his past life had affected him. The money he just earned was gone. Apparently he forgot that he was a food hunter. He could earn the money again by catching a few ingredients casually. Thinking of this, Li Ziming felt relieved. It didn't matter anymore. He could eat it anyway. Since he had been invited, he might as well start eating. Toriko saw Li Ziming's calm look and said to him jokingly, "No more birdsong and flowers. Calm down. It seems that you really lack experience. I thought you were teasing me, but it turns out that you really have little knowledge and experience. Okay. Then come with me to do some commissions in the near future. I can introduce some friends to you later." Hearing this, Li Ziming's eyes suddenly lit up. The friends of the 4 heavenly kings are either the 4 heavenly kings or famous food hunters, or even food DJs or cooks. He remembered that Toriko had also made a reservation at Setsuno Jokyudo. It seemed that not only could she get more points, but she could also eat more delicious food. She would be busy in the future. Okay, then you have to introduce me to him. Oh my! Soon, waiters appeared one after another pushing small food carts filled with all kinds of food, including wine, meat, vegetables, soup, desserts, and staple foods. It didn't take long before the huge dining table was filled with food. Li Ziming looked at the food around him. Although they were all ordinary foods, they exuded charming flavors after being cooked by the chef. Before he could finish looking at the entire table, Toriko had already started eating, holding vegetable bread in one hand, putting roast chicken in the other, and chewing crispy pork belly in her mouth. Seeing this, Li Ziming naturally couldn't fall behind, because this was all his money. Soon, he also started eating, and his speed was comparable to Toriko's. As the plates were piled up one after another, they finished eating one portion of food after another. Both of them enjoyed the meal very much. Li Ziming also tasted the delicacies of the world of food and his heart was filled with happiness. The waiters around also showed shocked looks. When they were collecting the plates, but no new dishes appeared, Li Ziming realized something was wrong. It seemed that Komatsu had already cooked the 2 ingredients. The huge door was opened, and Komatsu and the waiters appeared pushing a cart. "Mr. Toriko, Mr. Li Ziming, sorry for the wait. The crab, swallowtail and five-tailed eagle are ready. Since the meat of the crab swallowtail is relatively light, half of it is boiled and the other half is steamed. As for the claws, they are cooked in a variety of different flavors, including spicy, steamed, braised, and garlic. The five-tailed eagle has a unique body and a snake-like tail. Half of it can be fried into a chicken and snake stew, and the other half can be stewed into chicken soup. It tastes very delicious. Li Ziming and Toriko drooled wildly when they saw the various delicacies made by Komatsu. He is indeed a five-star chef, and the dishes he makes are simply delicious. Thanks to all the food in the world, I'm going to eat. X2 As soon as he finished speaking, Li Ziming held the five-tailed eagle soup and started drinking it. The taste was really sweet and fresh. Drinking chicken soup is such a wonderful thing, not to mention such a delicious soup. Toriko, on the other hand, was eating the huge claws. She forked out a large piece of steamed seafood. The moment it entered her mouth, the unique sweetness of seafood appeared, coupled with the hint of sea fish flavor. The combination of the two flavors was truly delicious. Seeing this, Li Ziming also started eating the garlic flavor. The rich garlic flavor not only brought out the unique sweetness of the claws, but also made the flavor even better, reminding him of the feeling of eating garlic crayfish with his brothers in the past. Under the surprised gazes of the people around them, the two began to quickly devour the food prepared by Komatsu. Empty plates were quickly piled up one after another. 1 word, fast. 2 words, delicious. 3 words, not full. Komatsu looked at the huge dining table, which gradually changed from a full banquet to an empty one, and the two people's stomachs also grew bigger. After they finished eating, they started chatting. Seeing this, Komatsu gave them some stomach-strengthening and digestion-promoting tablets. However, their conversation surprised Komatsu again. How come their stomachs were empty? They digested food so quickly. Toriko, have you ever eaten the Kara crocodile? What does it taste like? What does it taste like? Let me think about it. It's obviously crocodile meat, but it tastes like A5 grade Wagyu beef when you put it in your mouth. It's very soft and full of gravy. Every time I chew it with my teeth, it feels like I'm eating king crab. It's full of chewiness and freshness. I can't stop eating it. Hearing Toriko's description, Li Ziming couldn't help swallowing his saliva. His full stomach became hungry as Toriko described, and instantly became much flatter. The same was true for Toriko. Toriko. I'm hungry again. Ziming, me too. Chapter 25. By the way, why are you here too? Toriko said to Komatsu while sitting on Tom's yacht. Well, my boss asked me to collect information about the ecological environment of the Kara crocodile, and since I saw you, Mr. Toriko, catching ingredients last time, I was very moved, so I wanted to take this opportunity to come and see more. Komatsu explained. Don't worry, nothing unexpected will happen with me here. Li Ziming said with a smile. Then Li Ziming looked at the yacht's driver and said, Tom, thank you for bringing us here. It's just a small matter. You are my big client. I should do you a small favor. Hearing this, Li Ziming nodded and took note of the favor. It seemed that he could sell more ingredients to Tom in the future. After all, the meal he had at the Gourmet Hotel, including various high-end dishes and processing fees, directly cost him 500 million yuan. A quarter of his family fortune was gone just like that. It was heartbreaking. This way, I can ask Tom for help in the future. As for why I didn't take the somersault cloud to get there, it was of course because the somersault cloud was too small. It could seat 3 people, but it would still be a bit crowded. When Li Ziming asked the system if he could upgrade his somersault cloud, he did not expect that it could actually be upgraded and even evolved. It was something he had not expected, but the points required for the upgrade were a bit too many. Somersault cloud, subcloud, somersault cloud, main body, required points, 10,000 somersault cloud, main body, travel cloud, eating, drinking, defecating, urinating and sleeping, required points, 100,000 travel cloud, eating, drinking, defecating, urinating, sleeping, points required. I asked the system master if he could take a look at the properties of travel cloud, and he immediately posted a system introduction to me. Travel cloud, eating, drinking, defecating, urinating, sleeping. It can be invisible and can fly. It has X rooms, X halls, X bathrooms, and X kitchens inside the body. It can be freely planned. It has water, electricity, fire, and gas. It is fireproof, waterproof, electrical, radiation-proof, and gravity-proof. It is a must-have for home and travel. Seeing this traveling cloud, isn't it similar to the bus jellyfish that Grandma Setsuno has? It seems that when I reach the food world in the future, I can upgrade the somersault cloud into this thing, so that I can sleep well at night. When he came back to his senses, Toriko was still eating delicious food. He had just eaten grilled fish and now he was eating vegetables. It felt like it would take some time to get back to the Balloon Islands. Ziming simply started to practice food zen. This was his first time to practice food zen on a yacht. After a short while, Ziming got into the state, and Komatsu was very confused when he saw what Ziming was doing. Mr. Toriko, what is Mr. Ziming doing? Chewing, he is practicing zen food, which is the practice method of the Shilin Temple. But he is really strong. He can practice zen food on such a fast yacht. There is no way I can do it. It sounds amazing. The time of eating zen is always long. Ziming, who realized that it was almost time, stopped eating zen. Although he stopped, his inner gratitude to all things did not dissipate. Oh, you came out just in time, we're at the Barren Islands. Before you get close, you can hear the calls of various creatures. There are reefs everywhere around the archipelago, and the sea is turbulent. It seems that if you are not careful, you will be affected by the whirlpool and the ship will be destroyed and people will die. As Tom drove the yacht closer, a ferocious beast resembling an alien creature appeared on the reef. It was the Friday ape. Friday ape, mammalian capture level 2 at this moment. Toriko also noticed something unusual. He didn't understand why the Friday ape hiding in the cave would appear on the sea. He also noticed something unusual about this commission. Okay, we're here. This is the only entrance to the Barren Islands, the mangrove tunnel commonly known as the Devil's Mouth. Tom, just launch a hovercraft and go back. There's something unusual about the Barren Islands. Oh, sure. Tom then lowered the hovercraft and let the three of them sit in it and enter the interior of the Balloon Islands. He then got on the yacht and slipped away. Compared to the leisurely Toriko and Ziming, Komatsu was scared to death. It was not because of anything else, but because there were many traces of ferocious beasts around them, such as the barlong shark. Barren shark, is the capture level 1 Toriko, is the barren shark delicious? It's edible, but the meat is average. Only the shark fin has a bit of flavor, but that's all. After all, it's a level 1 catch. At this moment, Komatsu also remembered the conversation with his ego boss yesterday, that is, the Kara giant crocodile on the Barren Islands. Although it is a capture level 5 existence, it is very likely to be a higher level existence. For ordinary people, capturing level 1 requires 10 hunters with shotguns. Capturing level 5 is something that even a tank costing 500 million would have difficulty in dealing with. It is conceivable what the world would be like without the appearance of gourmet hunters. Just as he was about to speak out with trembling voice, the hovercraft had already arrived on land. As the three of them got off the hovercraft, they heard the sounds of numerous beasts, which scared Komatsu. Ah, what's that sound? Who knows? It could be the sound of some ferocious beast. After all, there are probably nearly 50,000 different species of creatures living in the Barren Islands. The Kara crocodile is the pinnacle of this food chain. Calm down, Komatsu, we are both very strong and it will be easy for us to protect you. Yeah, okay. The three of them then walked into the jungle, with Toriko walking in front, Komatsu in the middle, and Ziming standing behind, observing the surroundings to see if there would be anyone approaching them. As soon as he finished speaking, a barong tiger appeared beside the three of them. Before Toriko could react, Ziming went straight up and punched it. The tiger really walked into the trap. Defeat the Baron Tiger and get points +3 Baron Tiger, Mammalian Capture Level 3 Toriko, is this tiger delicious? It's not delicious, just the fur is a little soft, forget it. Oh. As for inedible ingredients, Ziming now follows a similar principle to Toriko, if they are delicious, they will be caught, if they are inedible or not tasty, they will be avoided if possible. Balonghe was awakened by Ziming. When he opened his eyes and saw the demon, he was so scared that he ran away madly. Am I that scary? When they weren't paying attention, a rain of barren leeches began to fall from the trees. Ziming and Toriko easily avoided them, but Komatsu was sucked up by one. Ah, what is that? Don't pull it hard. This is a barren leech. It only sucks blood and won't eat you. If you pull it out carelessly, you might leave its mouth parts on your skin. Komatsu, you'd better listen to Toriko at a time like this. Toriko found some leaves of plants around, pulled some, came to Komatsu, squeezed out some sap with her hands and dripped it on the barren leech. The next second, the Baron Leech stopped sucking blood and left in panic. Oh, why? The Barren Islands are close to the ocean, and the plants here have a high salt content. The Baron Leeches couldn't stand it and ran away. Something's wrong, Toriko, we're being targeted. You mean? After Komatsu simply treated the wound, Toriko instantly became alert, and the three of them slowly walked towards the island, their target, the Kara crocodile. But just as he turned around, several ferocious beasts suddenly appeared behind Komatsu and attacked him. Ah! If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you're notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.